Good morning. I sound like a little bit like I'm in a tinny hole. I sound like I'm in a little bit of a tinny hole. Yeah, I'm coming out. Don't worry. Ta-da! You hear the music? Fantastic. Wait, is the music done? Because I can't hear it. I'm like the only one who can't hear it. No, I turned it off. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Max. Hi, TV2. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning. It's Lolo. Good morning. What the heck is this? I have no idea what's on the screen right now. I didn't type that. I don't even know what that is. Hold on. What the fucking hell is that? What's the 3150? I don't even know what that text is on my screen. It's clearly going to another. Let's see. Where the heck? What the he-hozzles? Did somebody give like $31.54? This is weird. I don't know what's happening right now. What is happening to me? I don't even know what that. This is bothering me a lot. So bear with me. I didn't even see this on my screen this morning. Where the fuck is it? Oh, okay. Maybe that's it. Nope. That's not it. Isn't that weird, y'all? Okay, that's that. That's not it. I'm so confused. I'm looking for what that 3154 is at the top of my screen. And I'm like, what? Who's 3154? I guess it's in the words folder. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I didn't even see this happening. That's that. That's that. That's that. There is nothing that should be up there. Nope. Okay. I don't know what is happening. What is happening? That's not that. It's not that. Oh my God. I fucking hate this. You know what I can do? I can actually, let me turn off some of these things and see if that's it. Wow, I'm stumped. Stump the stars. Hit that thumbs up because you can watch me look at my stuff all day. I'm just going to leave that. I don't know what this is. So I guess, hold on. Let me try one more thing. I'm so sorry. Good morning, everybody. I really do love you. And I'm really here. It just looks like I'm not here. Okay, so what? Oh, so this is some kind of what is that? Oh, I don't know what that is. It's some kind of alert. Someone gave $31.54. I don't even know what happened there. I can't explain it. I'm so sorry. Good morning, everyone. Do I sound like I'm in a hole? I feel like I sound like I'm in a... Oh, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't sound like it. It's just because my earphones are weird. Anyway, okay, I stayed up until 3 a.m. Okay, we just have to start there. Okay, I stayed up until 3 a.m. because I was... And it's not because I was doing important things. I literally stayed up until 3 a.m. because I was playing Assassin's Creed. Okay? I admit it. I was playing Assassin's Creed until 3 a.m. So I'm a little tired. Wait, I need to pull my chair up a little bit. I'm a little tired. I'm a night owl. Sometimes I am, Jane. Sometimes I'm like, I can't go to sleep. I just can't go to sleep. And then I'm like, I don't want to go to sleep, but I have to get up early. I don't care. I don't want to go to sleep. Okay. That's what That's usually how the conversation in my head goes. Hi, Kim. Okay, let me say good morning to everyone because I love you guys so much. Jane, good morning. Neil, good morning. Pep, my sister Pep. Badger, my girl. Kim Thompson, love you so much. Oh my God, love Jim Space. You know, I was tongue twisted last night. Can I just tell you that? I was not at the top of my game last night. Nothing was coming out the way I wanted it to. My brain wasn't functioning, etc., etc., etc. Oh, Dan is here. You got up. I love you, Dan. Thanks for setting your alarm for me, babe. I really appreciate that. Love to see you. TV2, who was in here saying good morning. Such a beautiful good morning. You were battling chuds? Fuck yeah. Oh, they're motherfuckers, dude. No joke. No joke. They're the stupidest, evilest people on the planet. So there. And that's the way I feel about it. Let's see. So then I got Kim, I got Pep, I got Jim, I got Neil, my beautiful Neil from Montreal. Bonjour, mes amis. There's Maxie. It's kind of BS is National Prayer Breakfast. I was just listening to that. We'll probably listen to some of that. Do you like it? I got it at a thrift shop. I did. I got it at a thrift shop. Thank you. I love the Clash. I really love the Clash. You enjoyed yesterday's lounge? It was a scream. Oh God, wasn't it? Oh my God. Somebody get that screaming woman a beer or something. Hi, Oomph. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. JFK, good morning. Oh my gosh, we have visitors. I love you. Lolo, I'm an old rock. Am I a singer by trade? I wish I was, but I sing. So if you're in the LA area and you want to form a band, TV2, I'm down to clown. Okay. I am down to clown. So anytime I will sing in front of any band. Well, almost, probably not like a Nazi band. Lee, good morning. She's off to work already, but she'll come back. Easily Distracted is here. Good morning, my dear. How are you? I hope the grandbaby is good. Oh my gosh, they must be so big now. They must be so big. You would, okay. Are you kidding me? I would love to find musicians that want to play with me because I'm not hooked into the music scene here in Los Angeles, which of course is like incredible. Been since 2001 that I was on stage to play Five Nights. Oh my God, TV2. I need to see some recordings of these things. I am very, very excited about that. Well, if you're ever in LA, like fucking hit me up and let's go jam. I would fucking love it. I have some stuff up. Great. I'll check your channel. Perfect. Everyone, TV2-live, that's his handle. If you put that after youtube.com/, you'll find TV2's channel and his videos. So thanks. I really appreciate that. And plus, he also covers like different news events, or will put up chats with different recordings so that people can connect. So TV2 is really a very good complement to our kind of effort here. And so definitely recommend. Absolutely. No, I really truly believe that if we don't help each other, then how do we ever I don't know. Yeah, morning. I have a couple brain cells. Paul J, I love you. And I have a couple brain cells on this stream too. So I guess we're a pair. I guess we're a pair. Paul J, I'm so glad you're here. It's good to see you, my friend. My friend. Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday. It's wonderful Thursday. Incredible Thursday. One day before Friday. I have things for you. Oh my God. I just want to show. You can't really tell how great I prepared for this show, but you know how I do. I prepare for the show and then it's like, Okay, no problem. But I have some great stuff planned for us. And the first up, I mean, I guess we could go ahead and watch some of the prayer breakfast. I was also going to, let me see if this hearing is, oh, okay. Did that not go? Let me see. Okay. Hold on, let me just see. Because we have there's also Financial Stability Oversight Council's annual report to Congress, but this one is Mrs. Beasley with Elizabeth Warren. So just like yesterday when we saw Mrs. Beasley testify, which means we don't have to stay the whole time, but I would like to hear Elizabeth Warren hand him his balls and make him chew on them. That would be okay for me. I might enjoy that. I'm not going to say. I just might enjoy that. Here we go. Oh, God.
Trump and his...
Damn it. Okay, we're good. We're starting already. Good. She's the ranking member on this. Oh, I forgot. On the banking committee on the Senate. Elizabeth Warren is the fucking ranking member. Fuck yeah. Let's go. So she gets to make an opening statement. Tim Scott. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't actually show you what I'm looking at. But you're not going to like it. I can guarantee it. Sorry. Sorry. There's Tim Scott. Good morning, everybody. It's Tim Scott. Okay. We'll go ahead. No. I don't want to hear here. This is the person I want to hear from. Okay. Let me get my shit together here. Let's see. Let me make sure. Smoke him if you got him. Oh, yeah. Karen Diggs Retro. Hello, my love. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Badger's like, I don't want to listen to that pervert speak again. I understand. I didn't hear all of it, so I might play it. But you know what? I'll save that for the end because, then people can skip out. It's Thursday. I ain't got shit to do. Gonna get high. Fuck, Paul J. Can I tell you how much I love you? I love you so much. What a lovely shade of purple. I know. It's beautiful. It's aubergine. Would you call that aubergine? My birthday. I'm going to go sleep at noon to go to Descanto Gardens with my sons, then dinner. Oh my God. Oh my God. I love that. Happy birthday, my friend. I'm so happy for you. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you, Pep. Aubergine. Would you agree? I think it's a beautiful shade of aubergine. I used to have a sweater in that color, but I lost it. Well, I think Elizabeth Warren might have found it, and she made a blazer out of it. I don't know. You might want to take it up with her. I'm not sure. All right, let's go ahead and listen to Elizabeth Warren hand Mrs. Beasley his balls. Roll tape.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Secretary Bessent, as one of President Trump's top economic advisors, you have a lot to answer for. Donald Trump campaigned on lowering costs on day one. Those were his words, over and over. But 381 days into his term, Trump's economic policies have driven prices up. Grocery prices are up, electricity prices are up, healthcare prices are up, the cost of building housing is up. President Trump's economic agenda is failing families, but boy, it is working great for Wall Street and Trump's billionaire buddies. There have been massive tax cuts for billionaires. Big bank supervision has been cut to the bone, and sidelining the cops who go after white-collar crime. Meanwhile, middle-class families get the short end of the stick. Unemployment is growing and prices are up. But American families can't even get the basic respect of a straight answer from Team Trump. The president lies about prices being lower when every family who's walked into a grocery store knows that prices are up. Secretary Bessent tells workers that the Trump administration has created a blue-collar boom, while Donald Trump's own Labor Department reports that manufacturing jobs are down by 71,000 since Trump took office. But American families aren't fooled. When Secretary Bessent and President Trump try to tell them that the sky is not blue and that water is not wet, hardworking people know in their pocketbooks just how big those lies are. They also know that Trump and his team don't have any plans to fix what is broken. Secretary Bessent is here today in his role as chair of the Financial Stability Oversight Council. Congress created FSOC after the 2008 financial crash to protect families from large financial institutions that load up on debt and then turn around and crash our economy. Secretary Bessent could have used FSOC over the last year to tighten regulations so that we don't face more bank failures like the Silicon Valley Bank or First Republic Bank that crashed less than 3 years ago. Instead, he has helped to get rid of the guardrails so that banks can load up on even more risk. He's boosted profitability for giant banks and pay for CEOs while making it more likely that all of this ends in yet another taxpayer bailout. And what has he done for consumers? Secretary Bessent tried to shut down the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the agency that has returned more than $21 billion directly to Americans cheated by big banks and giant corporations. He's effectively told the banks they can cheat as many people as they want, and he and Donald Trump will look the other way. But it's not just about rolling back safeguards. Secretary Bessent is ignoring emergence risks in the economy. The private credit market looks like a ticking time bomb. Late last year, Moody's found that banks had $300 billion of exposure and that the risk posed by these shadowy holdings is growing. And as Jamie Dimon said, quote, "When you see one cockroach, there are probably more." But Secretary Bessent and FSOC have their eyes shut tight and have decided they don't see any cockroaches at all. Here's all you need to know about what's happening under President Trump's and Secretary Bessent's watch.
Don't call my friends
Middle-class families
cockroaches.
are paying higher prices for just about everything, while it becomes harder and harder to get a raise or find a job. Meanwhile, Wall Street CEOs are getting the kid glove treatment as Trump policies may be edging the economy closer and closer to another disastrous financial crash. Now, President Trump is so busy raking in cash from foreign governments and building his gold-encrusted ballroom that he's completely out of touch with how his economy is making life harder for millions of Americans. We are only 1 year into Donald Trump's second term, and if Trump and Bessent don't wake up and change course quickly, the economy may keep delivering for billionaires, but it's going to get even worse for American families. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No, I
Secretary Bessent?
He did. He liked that one.
Good. Chairman Scott, Ranking Member Warren, and members of the committee, thank you for inviting me to discuss the Financial Stability Oversight Council's 2025 annual report. This report is the culmination of extensive collaboration among FSOC members. I'd like to thank them for their hard work and dedication in advancing the President's bold vision for a better America. Since day one, President Trump has focused on building parallel prosperity, an era of economic expansion where Wall Street and Main Street grow together. To that end, Treasury has tirelessly pursued pro-growth policies to unlock the potential available to all Americans when they are free to save, invest, build businesses, and drive their own economic destinies. The Financial Stability Oversight Council plays an important role in delivering on this agenda. Too often in the past, we have seen regulation by reflex. Rather than preempting crises, regulators have frequently reacted to them after the fact. They played the role of hazmat cleanup team instead of preventing dangerous spillovers in the first place. Regulation by reflex has led to a regulatory myopia that has undermined safety and soundness. Under President Biden, the bank regulators preoccupied themselves with reputation risk, now discredited climate-related financial risk, and other risk, with no clear nexus to safety and soundness. At the same time,
Now discredited climate risk. Are you listening to this bullshit? This man, what did Jim say last night? This guy worked for like what? I can't remember how many years he said that he worked for George Soros. I mean, I think Mrs. Beasley's always been an asshole. So, and there are plenty of like rich assholes in philanthropy. Believe me, there's plenty of assholes. Hey, Sharon Brown, how you doing? This word salad has no dressing. Yeah, exactly. Like 18 years. Yeah, thank you, Sharon Brown. I knew someone would know. Yeah, he worked for George Soros for a long time. Now, frankly, I worked in nonprofit management for over 20 years. So, I mean, I don't think George Soros knows what day it is anymore. I mean, he probably does, but he's very old. I mean, he was old when I started my career, okay? So he's very old. I don't think he's, first of all, his foundations are incredibly hard to work for. Oh, he was the chief investment officer. Oh. So, I mean, capitalism really can kill your soul and all that. So I understand why he might have lost his way, but I don't think he ever had a way to begin with. I don't think he had a way. I think he was always just move the money and take the job that pays the most money and all that. He doesn't seem to have a whole lot of guiding morals. Let's put it that way, which is surprising. I would think he would after seeing what he's seen or being part of Soros's world and all that. So, yeah, anyway, Mrs. Beasley, please continue lying.
They centered supervision on management and other governance matters that distracted examiners and banks' risk managers from the real risk to safety and soundness. The result, predictably, was the second, third, and fourth largest bank failures in U.S. history under his administration. Besides undermining safety and soundness, regulation by reflex has driven excessive regulation. That can lead to economic stagnation, and economic stagnation is itself a threat to financial stability. In calibrating regulations, federal agencies must avoid the temptation to create a zero-risk financial system.
Okay, I just want to translate if you aren't picking up what he's putting down. He's saying that they should calibrate the financial regulations, regulations that protect investors from predatory brokers and bad advice and, all the things, right? All the things, Ponzi schemes, that kind of thing. What he's saying is you can't have no risk in the financial services market, which technically he's correct. But what you do as somebody who was a branch manager for a brokerage firm, which means you had to have a special license, a Series 8, which was all about compliance because you are in charge of compliance for your branch. And if you are, what he's saying is that those regulations should be relaxed. And that you should have, and he's right, there's always going to be some risk, but what you do is create a regulatory structure that actually mitigates most of that risk. And I'm pretty sure that when it comes to what we'll see in terms of regulations around financial protections, that you will see them stripped away. We've already seen, what was it? They got rid of the requirement that the Biden administration, I guess they capped fees, overdraft fees were capped at certain point, and I think he undid that. I have to check. I'll check when we are watching this. Anyway, what I'm saying is that this man wants to strip away regulations so that investors are not protected because he is working for the crypto bros and the others who want to move money without accountability. Please, this is their whole thing, is to eliminate the tracking and the accountability for money laundering and other things. We already know there is, remember, there is a worldwide cabal, right? It's just not the one you thought it was. So, maybe they're not all meeting in a special dungeon, but they definitely share common interests, which is no accountability, no taxes, no social services they have to fund, You know, no labor relations, none of that. They don't want to deal with any of that. They want to keep all their money. They don't want to help poor people or any of us. And they want to live forever. Well, that's another thing, but we'll talk about that later. You know, like it is in the interest of many of the people who are supporting this regime. It is in their interest for them to see this regime succeed, because then they're scot-free. They don't have any, I mean, taxes are probably eliminated. He did undo the overdraft fees. I mean, that's huge. I don't know about you, but in my life, I've paid a lot of overdraft fees because I'm terrible with money. So yeah, Chuds, you know what? Yeah, take it all, bitch. Take it all.
Which was
Because we're all getting fucked,
others
and it's
have
not
called
the
the
fun part.
stability of the graveyard.
Not the fun kind of fucking.
FSOC should aim to identify vulnerabilities that could lead to systemic crises and encourage the private sector to mitigate those risks before recommending additional regulation. FSOC should also work with its members to support efforts to avoid or pare back existing regulation that stifles pro-growth lending, capital formation, and innovation. And the best way to achieve these goals is by centering economic growth and economic security at the heart of FSOC's agenda. Promoting economic growth and economic security is essential to ensuring financial stability. Economic growth strengthens households, business, and financial institution balance sheets, creating capital buffers that reduce the risk of defaults and financial stress. And economic security reinforces domestic production capacity, raising living standards while reducing vulnerability to external shocks and supply chain disruptions. FSOC's annual report prioritizes economic growth and economic security accordingly, with a specific focus on our 4 policy areas: treasury markets, cybersecurity, regulatory modernization, and AI. First, the
That
Council is
low
ensuring
hum,
that the U.S.
the low hum you hear is coming from the broadcast. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird?
Treasury market remains the deepest and most liquid in the world. The Council is supporting efforts by member agencies to strengthen this market against future shocks, including through the Interagency Working Group on Treasury Market Surveillance and the Market Resilience Working Group. Ongoing monitoring and targeted reforms by individual agencies remain essential to financial stability. Second, the Council is taking action to protect our financial system from increasingly sophisticated cyber attacks. Nation-state actors and criminal groups continue to target our financial institutions and critical infrastructure. To address this risk, the Council is supporting expanded information sharing, joint monitoring, and scenario-based exercises, and it is emphasizing the need for regulated firms to manage cyber risks tied to third-party service providers. Third, the Council is committed to supporting efforts to modernize supervisory and regulatory frameworks for banks and credit.
Mrs. Beasley, your robot heart is causing a hum on the microphone. I know. Oh no, he's back, Meowing Star. But this time, Meowing Star, this time Elizabeth Warren is about to hand him his balls. So just hang in there, because it's going to be okay. All right? Elizabeth Warren is going to cut this guy where it counts. So don't worry. Mrs. Beasley is going down for the second morning in a row. How embarrassing for him. But good morning, Meowing. How are you?
Unions. Going forward, regulation and supervision should address material risk, enhance transparency, and reduce unnecessary burdens, particularly for community banks. Fourth, the Council is prioritizing the responsible use of artificial intelligence to strengthen financial stability. The Council is working with public and private sector partners, including international counterparts, to enhance system resilience while closely monitoring emerging risk. I will close by highlighting our progress in enhancing the utility of our annual report. In this year's report, FSOC shifted away from its past approach, where nearly every major market and financial sector was described as a financial stability vulnerability. By introducing a new structure centered on fostering economic growth and security, we are tuning out the white noise to concentrate on the issues that matter most for U.S. financial stability. With this overview,
You know, like consumer protection, that's just white noise, according to Scott. That's just white noise. You know what, Granny? You were swindled. Get over it.
I look forward to taking your questions.
Thank you, Secretary. And to all the
Anybody
members we
remember
have.
Enron? I do. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I was alive during Enron. I don't know. I just, y'all, this is so bad. They really want to fuck the financial system. Please, everybody, the scams are going to be off the charts. Off the charts.
Essentially,
And here's one of
full
the biggest
attendance,
scams right now,
Looks like
Tim
everyone
Scott.
wants to ask a question, so I will be pretty consistent on calling us to 5 minutes. Just want to make sure that you guys have a little time to prepare for that.
Okay.
Got it?
Just so long as it's everybody else.
Well, of course, yes. We'll work on that.
Okay.
Secretary, I'd love to give you a couple minutes to respond to some of the things the ranking member said, starting with the fact that 2 of the 3 largest bank failures in American history happened under President Biden, not President Trump.
Oh, Tim Scott, I am so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up. Because guess what? You know what those 2 bank failures have in common? Peter fucking Thiel. Oh yeah, I hate that gray suit. No, Max? Oh no, I'm getting to that. This suit is a mess. This isn't just a gray suit. This is a weird fucking not pinstripe. It's like a weird, what's that plaid called? There's a name for that. I can't remember what kind of plaid that is. But anyway, oh no. I think he's still married. I think he is. Didn't he marry the woman who has like a scam, like drink mix? A drink mix, a window pane. Thank you so much. Thank you. You guys are the best. I love my friends. My friends know all the words. Yes, the window pane. I hate this. Everything about this suit is wrong, and the person in it. I was working several floors in Louisiana and Polk, downtown Houston. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now. Look at his face. Look at that little face. Oh, my God. He's like, "Arr, rawr, 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 rawr. Elizabeth Warren was mean to you. What do you have to say about it?" The 2 big bank failures, Silicon Valley Bank, I don't know about First Republic. It might have been, although it might have also just been an outcrop of the damage done to Silicon Valley Bank. And you want to know why Silicon Valley, yeah, especially the person in it. You want to know why Silicon Valley Bank failed? Because Peter Thiel removed all his money. He created a run on the bank. Okay? He created a run on the bank. So yeah, it did happen during Biden's administration. You want to know why? It was on purpose. Okay? It was on purpose. That's what it was. Get a grip. Tim Scott knows this too, by the way. Tim Scott knows that he's lying right now. Tim Scott knows that he's factually being correct, but he's really spinning this as a narrative of the Biden regime was just like out of control and didn't check on banks and blah, 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 blah. No, bitch. We all read the reporting at the time. You stupid cunt. You stupid fucking pedo supporter. That's right. You support pedophiles. What is wrong with you, Tim Scott? Peter Thiel caused the bank runs that he is referring to. They did it on purpose. Period. And I would love a chud to just try and prove me wrong on that. That'd be a short argument. Roll tape. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Good morning. Window pane is Putin's favorite suit design. Oh, Mr. Scott, you are telling future. That's right. I don't think we have enough windows for everyone in the actual, administration, but we'll find them. Oh, yeah, he's already got the excessive shoulder pads. Thank you for noticing that, Pep. But this little stern face is really kind of hilarious. Is that his wife behind him? I mean, that has to be a staffer, right? That can't be his wife. But I think that does look like his wife. I think that's what she looks like. Because she sells like this green stuff on QVC. I'm not shitting you right now, okay? She's like a health nut guru, but like a snake oil saleswoman. And she's selling her snake oil on QVC. But she's also, I think she's married to this guy. I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to find out. But I'm pretty sure.
Correct?
Correct.
Number two, under President Biden, we saw devastation in household after household after household. He dug a big hole.
Oh boy. No, Tim Scott, Biden didn't dig the big hole. Biden was dealing with the post-pandemic economy where things went from zero back up to whatever normal might have been. Okay? So that is any president who was president after a pandemic like we had that was completely mishandled by your party, sir. Any economic devastation is because your party mishandled the pandemic. Period. Full stop. And if you want me to pull the economic reports explaining why 2021, 22, 23, if you want me to pull those reports about how it is to recover from a pandemic, which by virtue of its name means worldwide, okay? This is where MAGA should demand a more intelligent presentation of the facts. MAGA, you are being lied to by this motherfucker right here, right there. He is, and I get it. You know, you hate Biden. Oh, this is a perfect way to get real mad. But then you have to look at the entire context. And you have to also acknowledge that, and Bill Ackman, you have to acknowledge that we recovered. Thank you, Pep. That's exactly, oh my God, I love this group so much. I love you all so much. Because Pepper said it. We recovered better and faster than the rest of the world. Thank you, Biden. Hi, Josh. How are you, darling? It's good to see you. So, yeah. Tim, go suck a pedophile's butthole. All right? That's what you want to do, and that's what you're doing right now, and it's embarrassing. We're all embarrassed for you.
Where the average
Where's your
family
mother?
was losing at the end of his term over $1,000 a month in spending power. Accurate?
I would say workers suffered under policies championed by the Biden-Warren economy.
And President Trump has had to fill that hole. As a matter of fact, we've seen some of the strongest GDP growth that we've seen in decades.
We've seen strong GDP growth in spite of many, but not all,
for our economy, and as a result, interest rates have been able to come down consistently.
I'm sorry.
yes, we've seen
Oh, we jumped
interest
ahead
rates
in
come
time.
down this year.
Sorry about
and
that, everybody.
The 10-year U.S. Treasury
Sometimes
had
we
its
just
best
have like
year
a
since
future, like a
2020,
Back to the Future
when
moment,
the
you
bond
know?
markets and our
Back to the
G7
Future
colleagues
moment.
actually had rate hikes. We had rate decreases.
Only have 10 seconds. At the end of the day, home ownership and affordability is more likely now in the Trump economy than it ever would have been under the Biden economy. Ranking member?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So for a solid year while he ran for president, Donald Trump promised pretty much every day that he was going to lower costs on day one, if he was elected. Those were
no,
his
he's just a
words,
bad
not mine.
liar. I don't know.
So, Secretary
I don't
Bessie,
think
you are one of the
he's not
president's
actually
top economic
presenting
advisors.
as
Let's just
autistic
start
to me, which
with a
is
little
not- they don't-
truth-telling about
He's
the Trump
malfunctioning,
economy 1 year in.
But he's really just a
Affordability
terrible person.
is
So
the top
completely
concern
different.
for Americans
No
across
excuses.
the country. Donald Trump has called affordability, I want to get this right, a hoax. He's called it a scam. He's called it a con job. You're the Secretary of Treasury. You know the numbers. Is affordability a hoax, a scam, or a con job?
Senator, it may be a bit nuanced for you, but what President Trump is referring to is the media saying that the affordability crisis was generated by this administration when it was you and President Biden who destroyed the buying power of the American people. So there is an affordability crisis, and you were front and center in it.
So let me make sure that I understand. Donald Trump is not saying that affordability, what's happening to families right now, is a hoax?
He is saying that trying to lay the blame at this administration rather than the Biden-Warren economy is a hoax.
Okay, so it all happened before he got it. And everything that's happened since then, nothing is a hoax here.
21.5% cumulative inflation.
Let me just ask about what's happened in the 1 year that Donald Trump has been president. Last week, President Trump said, quote, "We have the groceries going down." Did grocery prices drop in 2025?
Numerous prices have.
Did grocery prices drop in 2025?
Numerous grocery prices have gone down.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you can't hear me. Did grocery prices drop in 2025?
Numerous grocery prices have gone down.
Some of them.
And in fact, we have seen inflation at 2.1% for the past 3 months.
Have you seen the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that is Donald Trump's own Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers, that report that grocery prices were 2.4% higher at the end of 2025 than they were at the end of 2024. Trump's own Department of Agriculture has projected that those prices would climb higher in 2026. And under Donald Trump, families are paying more and more for groceries. So if you're just going to insult people by denying the facts that are out there and tell people they're doing great when they're struggling, I think that's just another way to say you don't have a plan to bring down these prices. You're not willing to admit the failures of the Trump administration.
Senator.
I will ask you a question in just a sec here. It's not just groceries. The numbers from Trump's own economic agency show that Americans are paying more for utility bills, more for health care, more for housing construction. Families aren't fooled by these lies. Mr. Secretary, you owe it to American families to own up what's going on. And Secretary Besson, I have one more question for you while I have you here. You ran the search for Donald Trump's Fed chair nominee, and Trump promised, quote,
I just want to point out the chart that I put up in front of Elizabeth Warren. I apologize. This is the CPI. This is from my favorite website, Trading Economics, which does take all its data from whatever is coming out of the federal government. So this is a definite thing. This is the CPI index over the last 5 years. You can see the gap where they just didn't collect the data. They are going to say it's the shutdown, but I'm pretty sure I know that it has nothing to do with the shutdown. They just didn't want to collect the data. And you can see why they didn't want to collect the data. You can really see that. You can really see why this is important for them, because look at this. This is 5 years now, okay? So this first year is what, 2021. 2021 CPI. We're getting through the supply chain issues. Prices are going up because supply is low, because we're not getting, right? We're not getting as much shipping, containers, et cetera, all that stuff. All that stuff is re-ramping up after COVID in 2020. And then prices rise, right? Well, but then Mr. Dump, if you want to go to 1 year, here's Mr. Dump's 1 year, okay? Here's 2025 to now. Okay? Excuse me. I don't think the CPI is going down. I think it went up. It's kind of stabilized. God knows what's coming next. But I'm sorry, sir. You are the one who has fucked with consumer price index because of your fucking tariffs. You fucking idiot. This is all a self-inflicted wound. Now, it's not a wound for these guys because they want this instability. If you recall, this lounge has talked extensively about the Mar-a-Lago Accord, which is the restructuring of global trade and national and security guarantees and critical minerals. So they don't give a shit if your prices go up. I'm sorry. Did you miss that part? Because he's going to tell you stories while he fucks you. And it's not the fun kind. Okay? So I'm sorry, but the data doesn't lie. Scott Bessent does, but the data doesn't. And Americans should be really mad at this regime for lying to them constantly when the data is right there. But of course, they're counting on the fact that everyone is too lazy to go look at the data. So they'll just take whatever Dump says. By the way, Dump credibly has been alleged to rape multiple children. So I'm not sure where your line is, MAGA. I'm not sure where the bottom is for you. But I'm going to be honest right now. You're supporting a pedophile. You're enabling him and his friends, who also know he's a pedophile, by the way. Scott Bessent knows he's a pedophile. Yeah, I don't need data. Every time I go to the supermarket, I know. I have very specific groceries I buy. They have no bottom. But I'm going to tell you right now, why you want to be lied to constantly is beyond me. I mean, come on. This is it, okay? This is it. This is my mantra, because now we know. Now we know that the actual cabal was being run through Epstein. And we're going to read more about Epstein, Russia, and Q. Because what we've learned with the release of these documents is a much clearer picture of the fuckery that got us to this point. And so, yeah, I'm going to remind them at every point, you are supporting a credibly alleged child rapist and an adjudicated rapist. But of course, you won't believe that one. So I'm curious to see how you do with this one, because apparently you want to like save children, but not those children, not the ones that the president raped. I don't want to save those. Wow. I don't know. The cognitive dissonance must be really, really loud. It must be really loud. Yeah. Family Dollar, Razor. I mean, here's the bottom. I mean, this is not hard to figure out. Oh, yeah. We don't even want to talk about electricity prices, because guess what? The boys, the tech boys, are going to make your energy prices go way up if they haven't already, because of their little building projects. So have a good time with that. All right, let's go.
Anyone that disagrees with me will never be Fed chairman. Kevin Warsh got the nod last Friday, and then over the weekend, Donald Trump joked that he would sue Mr. Warsh if he failed to lower interest.
Kevin Warsh is also in the fucking Epstein files. The new Fed chair, not the old one, not Biden, not Kamala, not even, like just not.
Rates.
Oops, sorry.
At least I think it was a joke. But just in case, this should be an easy one, Mr. Secretary. Can you commit right here and now that Trump's Fed nominee, Kevin Warsh, will not be sued, will not be investigated by the Department of Justice if he doesn't cut interest rates exactly the way that Donald Trump wants?
That is up to the president. Can you commit that you will?
I'm sorry.
Can you commit that you will not hold
that he
hold
won't
up?
Be sued if he doesn't drop interest rates.
Can you?
And he won't be criminally investigated.
The president also made a joke about you that I won't repeat, Senator Warren.
That was the
actually, I will.
one.
He said he had reservations.
If this was a joke, why not just say so?
It was a joke, and he made a joke about you too, Senator Warren.
Yes,
got a lot of laughs. A lot of laughs.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to respond to that.
I do want to respond.
What I can't tell you
think the American people
Mr.
are
Warsh
laughing.
is highly qualified.
They're the ones who are struggling with affordability.
Why don't you tell the nation what you told me, that you held up Chair Powell's
Secretary,
renomination?
We're going to move on to the next one. Senator Rounds, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, first of all, Thanks
I'm
for
glad
being
the
here and for your
Republicans are
service to our
laughing
nation.
at someone being made fun of.
I'm going to come back in
That's a
and
great
talk
thing.
a little
Good
bit on the
job,
technical
everybody.
side for just
No,
box.
I don't want to hear you because I fucking hate you and I fucking hate him. And this guy, okay, I can young people please run for Senate?
And I would say that building costs are now down in the year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Senator Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, the President announced on January 9th, in his words, quote, effective January 20th, 2026, I, as President of the United States, am calling for a one-year cap on credit card interest rates of 10%. In remarks at the World Economic Forum in Davos, the President further said, quote, the profit margin for credit card companies now exceeds 50%. He also indicated that Americans are paying 28, 30% interest rates. You were one of his top economic advisors, Mr. Secretary. Do you support interest rate caps to improve affordability on credit?
I wholeheartedly support President Trump's policy, and I think that what you've just said would be in direct contrast to what Senator Warren said about this administration favoring the big banks. But those are facts.
Well, I don't think my statement indicates at all what Senator Warren said or meant. I wanted an answer. You gave me one. Yep. But let's look at the current situation. We already have legislation that protects service members by putting a 36% cap, not just on credit cards, but all credit relationships. And it protects them from being exploited. And as in my youth, I was a company commander and saw it firsthand. Would it make sense as a first step to provide a 36% interest rate for all Americans, not just service members?
36% doesn't seem like much protection to me, Senator.
Well, it's better than some of the things that are being presented to service members without the rates. These new plans to buy commodities, and sometimes the rates go to 500, and still today, you have entrepreneurs who are charging extraordinary rates, and particularly to vulnerable populations, which I know they don't congregate at Harvard Square, but they also don't hang out in New Haven either. So I think that would be a sound step, Mr. Secretary.
Senator, you haven't seen all of New Haven.
I haven't, but I've seen a lot of it, the parts that you might have missed. The situation at Fannie and Freddie is significant. We have significant federal interest financially in Fannie and Freddie. But under the director, Mr. Pulte, these taxpayer-owned assets are no longer in compliance with the law or with stock exchange listing standards. Pulte has appointed himself as director of both boards, even though the law says, quote, the director may not hold any office position or employment in Fannie or Freddie. A majority of the Fannie board has not been determined to be independent. The audit committee is no longer comprised entirely of independent members. And the committee the governance has been sacked by political affiliates. These all are prohibited by law and regulation. So how will you bring them into compliance, Mr. Secretary?
That would be FHFA, not Treasury.
Excuse me. You are one of the largest, or the taxpayers are. You provided them, Treasury did, not you personally, a $200 million bailout in 2008, and you have no interest in Fannie and Freddie?
I'm very interested in Fannie and Freddie, and I'm interested in fulfilling the mission to the American people to keep mortgage rates low.
What about following the laws?
So again, you should ask Director Pulte. I do not see I don't think this creates a
Well, all right, you have nothing to do with Fannie and Freddie. Director Pulte has said that you and him are, quote,
Oh, Mrs. Beasley. Oh, Panic Patty. Panic Patty on the move. Yeah, Bill Pulte, who is the grandson of the Pulte, housing thing, he's in charge of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and that's what they're talking about. And that was a very good way of demonstrating that Scott Bessent doesn't really give a flying fuckwad. You know what Bill Pulte's spending his time on? looking for mortgage fraud from people like Lisa Cook from the Fed, Letitia James, who they tried to indict 3 times and failed. You could not literally indict her. She wasn't apparently a ham sandwich enough. They couldn't indict her. They tried 3 fucking times. Okay? So all the fraud and stuff that they claim, they've made 0 arrests. Do you notice that? There's no arrests from the 2016 election, the Russia. I know they're trying. I get it. But you guys, come on, you idiot MAGA chuds. They're not actually doing what they told you they were going to do. You fucking idiots. And I think 36% is what is mentioned because, frankly, I don't know about you, but when I had credit cards, I gratefully don't have them anymore. They could be at like 29%, et cetera. So clearly, whoever negotiated with the credit card companies that your top is 36 was really just a way to minimize the damage. Because I think unfettered, the credit card companies would definitely exceed that 36%. You know what I mean? So yes, 36%, huge problem. Let's get rid of credit agencies and credit card companies. You know, like I'm down to clown. So, but MAGA does their own research. That's right. I'm sorry. Well, you know what? I hope your toilet is well stocked because that's where you're doing your research library. Anyway, so sorry. I just had to mention that. Yeah.
Very aligned, and we meet regularly about the conservatorship. By the way, it's in conservatorship because of Secretary Paulson, your predecessor. According to Fannie and Freddie's annual reports, the companies, quote, continue to rely on financial support from Treasury pursuant to our senior preferred stock purchase agreement, under which taxpayers own 1 million preferred shares and a warrant to purchase up to 80% of their shares. Treasury staff manages those shares and warrants for the taxpayers. Your predecessor, Hank Paulson, placed these companies into conservatorship. So you have the premise or the power to place Fannie and Freddie into conservatorship. I would think that gives you a little bit of leverage talking to Mr. Pulte about why he's not following the law. You're reneging on responsibilities, Mr. Secretary. And you're also, being the senior person here, your behavior to some of my colleagues is absolutely childish. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Good to see him.
Senator Kennedy.
Hello, Mr. Secretary. I'm over here. How are you?
Good.
Mr. Secretary, as you're also head of the IRS, we've had some tough ice storms. Would you and your colleagues consider an extension on allowing extension to allow people to file taxes a little bit later?
Senator, I've been in touch with the governor of the great state of Louisiana, and he and I and my staff are working on that. It is traditional to grant extensions. They have 4 events like this.
Good. If Canada came to the United States, well, let me preface this by saying I understand that tariffs have a number of purposes, but the foremost reason for tariffs is to try to stop other countries from taking advantage of us through either their tariffs or trade barriers. If Canada, for example, came to the United States and said, we're going to 0 tariffs in the United States. All of them are off on our end. Would you, Mr. President, speaking to our president, go to 0 tariffs and then just let Canadian companies and American companies compete on a level playing field?
Absolutely not. As we saw last week, when 2 weeks ago, when Prime Minister Carney went to China, he lowered tariffs on Chinese EVs from 100% to 6%. U.S. has a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs. We couldn't let our northern border be used as a way for Chinese EVs to come into the U.S.
Right. Okay.
Wait, what? Wait, what happened? Did they stop? Or no, are they just mad at China for that? Or did he say that they're trying to stop? Yeah, he's Foghorn Leghorn. That's what we put up for Kennedy. Besson always looks like he's stretching his neck like a tortoise. Yeah, no, he's like an animatronic. He's like a Pokemon animatronic, like one of the lesser Pokemons that didn't get a card, you know. But is that what he's saying? It's been abnormally. Oh, nice. Oh my God, it's like 90 degrees here, Paul. It's so weird in LA. But seriously, I'm wondering, did they squash or do something to kill that? I wish Lee was here. I know she's at work, but did they do something to squash the deal between Canada and China for the EVs? First of all, I would love an EV from China. Bring it. I love it. Let's try it. I bet it's good. You know, like then I don't have to buy Elmos, which I'm not in a position to buy anything, but you know what I'm saying. Did we fuck with that? I'm
going to lead you a little bit because Senator Scott is a she-bear when it comes to time. The poverty rate, according to the Census Bureau, is 11%, isn't it, in America?
I'll take it. I'll take your word, Senator.
And that's the Census Bureau defines poverty, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Is it not true that the Census Bureau, in defining poverty and determining that our poverty rate is 11%, or 36 million Americans, which makes us look bad, only will consider direct cash payments from the federal government to poor people, such as, let's say, SSI payments or TANF payments?
Correct.
Okay? And isn't it true that the Census Bureau, in determining poverty, doesn't include non-cash payments? It doesn't include Medicaid or food stamps or housing subsidies or refundable tax credits. Isn't that true?
That is correct, Senator.
Yeah. Let me give you an example. Mom, 2 kids, poverty level for her and her kids is $27,000. Mom works part-time. She makes $11,000. According to our Census Bureau, she's poor. She's below the poverty line. But she also receives, she works, I recall I said, makes $11,000 a year. She receives $4,100 in refundable earned income tax credits, $3,400 in refundable child tax credits, which means she gets a check, $9,200 in food stamps, $9,500 in housing subsidies, $900 in utility bill subsidies, $16,000 in Medicaid, $31,000 a year in free school lunches, and $6,000 in TANF payments. If you add that up, that's $64,100 a year, according to math.
I'll believe your arithmetic, Senator.
Okay?
Oh my God.
But using the Census Bureau's definition of poor, they don't include all these payments. They just include her income and the TANF payment.
Oh my God.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
No, sir, and you should bring that up with the Commerce Department.
I know, but you've got influence. I know how close you and the Commerce Secretary are. I'm hoping you could bring it up with somebody above.
The president says we're opposites, and I'm tall.
I'm not going to comment on that. Would you talk to the president about this? If you include all cash and non-cash payments, the poverty rate in America is 1%.
That's a good point to end on.
Thank you.
I didn't want to scream today. Hi, Val. He's claiming, oh my God, I am like I just don't even know where the bottom is anymore. So he's claiming that they want to take a person who makes $11,000, is working and trying to feed her kids or his kids. Oh my God, I just don't, I feel like crying. I feel like crying. Like he literally wants to tax every dollar in benefits and not take people out of like benefit programs. I don't understand why this, and I know I already have like a ton of videos by my stalker who loves it when I cry, and so he clips everything and makes fun of me. But you know who I'm crying for? I'm crying for his neighbors because he lives in rural Pennsylvania and he's not very wealthy. So I'm crying for them. I don't understand in this country why anyone would think that this motherfucking smug bitch. Literally, they just talked about taking money. I don't understand. I don't fucking stand. Yeah, and so you know what? Clip record. I don't care because guess what? I care about you and your neighbors, and that's why I'm upset. So I'm sorry if I'm upset for you because you're so goddamn stupid. You can't even assess what this government is doing to you. You motherfucking stupid assholes. You Nazis. I hope Nuremberg 2.0 comes. And no, I don't want people to be killed. I am not a violent person. I am angry. I am righteously angry on behalf of this country, on behalf of people. Yeah, he is mentally ill, but I mean, it's all over Rumble. Like he puts shit everywhere. I try and shut down a channel, he creates a new channel. I shut down another channel, he creates a new. It's fine, whatever. I give up. Like, go ahead and make fun of me. Go ahead and make fun of me. But this is the depth of evil, and I really don't fucking understand this. I don't understand how people are just like, haha, look at him. He really told that Elizabeth Warren. I know nobody watches him. I just don't. I'm just telling you what happens in my life. What I get for doing this. How I get treated for doing this. I get made fun of. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But one of these days, he might get sued, and he better be careful about that because defamation is a thing, bitch. Anyway, I didn't expect that one, okay? I didn't expect them to attack the poverty level. I guess I didn't. Mea culpa. I did not think that this fucking regime would joke about and, Edward, thank you. Oh, you also get a lot of praise and thirsty fans. I love you so much. Thanks for making me feel better. I really appreciate it. It is a floating bud. Remember when I helpfully suggested mental health clinics in his area when he infiltrated the Discord? That's right. He's real mad about the Discord, boy. He talks about that. Oh, I do. Thank you, Cam. You're a doll. You are a doll. Thank you. You're a top-notch troll and a doll as well. So thanks for being a good friend. I really appreciate it. It's tough out here on these streets, right? Anyway, they're attacking the poverty level, y'all. They're coming for you. This is eugenics, pure and simple. And Foghorn Leghorn is leading the charge. God bless.
I tell you he was a
Fucking
she-bear.
assholes.
I'm not quite sure for this. Senator Moreno, you and I will talk about the she-bear later. Let's go on to Senator Van Hollen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I think you would agree that the credibility of the Secretary of the Treasury is important, and I want to give you a chance to retract a statement that you made on national TV. Alex Preddy was shot 10 times and killed by federal agents in Minneapolis. The administration, some in the administration called him a, quote, domestic terrorist. You suggested that Alex Preddy was culpable in his own killing because he had a gun in his waistband holster, which he was licensed to carry. When asked, you said, quote, I'm sorry this gentleman is dead, but, and you went on to say, he had a weapon, suggesting that he was culpable in his own killing. So, Mr. Secretary, today, would you like to retract that statement?
I would not. And would you like to express remorse over the death of Ashley Babbitt here in the Capitol?
Oh, I have expressed remorse over that. So I've done that, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Secretary, please don't. So you think, I have other questions, but I actually would have expected you to take this opportunity to rephrase your response to that question. So you think the fact that he legally had a gun justified his killing?
I didn't say that at all.
You said, do you think he was culpable, partly to blame in his own killing because he had a gun?
I did not say that.
I'm asking you a question now. Do you believe he was in
What'd
any
you
way
fucking say
culpable
then?
for his own killing because he legally carried a gun?
Again, this is an FSOC hearing.
Yeah.
So,
But you're the Secretary of the Treasury.
Why don't we talk about financial stability and oversight?
I'm happy to, Mr. Secretary, but your credibility is important. And in that response, you really, I think, let down the country because we expect honesty after that kind of terrible tragedy. Let me ask you about FSOC. I'm glad that you've all established a household resilience committee because people are being financially squeezed from every side. And I've got a whole bunch of quotes here from candidate Donald Trump on the campaign trail. Starting the day I take office, I will rapidly drive down prices and we will make America affordable again. It's interesting he used that phrase since he's been making fun of the affordability phrase recently. But I listened to your exchange with Senator Warren, and the facts show very clearly that inflation has not been eliminated, has it?
Well,
right?
It is undesirable to completely eliminate inflation. What is desirable is to get back to the Fed's 2% target. And for the past 3 months, we've been at 2.1%, Senator.
Yeah. No,
So
but if,
You are a liar. What did he say? Inflation? You're a liar, you little bitch. You're a liar. You're a fucking liar. Yeah, yeah. Let me show you the motherfucking inflation rate. That's right. And this is from the government data. So go fuck yourselves if you don't think it's right. Here is a year of inflation. Starting in December 2024, 2.9%. 3% in January 2025. Oh God, here we go. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I got you. Hey, thanks for the wait. Oh, be back later. Sorry, wrong TV2, but anywho. Oh, okay. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, he does blink a lot when he's going to get like in trouble. Okay, let me show you. Okay, this is the inflation rate. And then it went to March, it went down to 2.4 and then 2.3 in April. 2.4, 2.7, 2.7, 2.9, 3. No data because, they shut the government down. 2.7, 2.7. December 2025. We don't have January numbers yet. But excuse me, if you have not even been close to 2.1, you stupid cunt. You stupid motherfucking cunt. Stop lying, you bitch.
Yeah. The 21.5% under the Biden administration.
It is not.
Look, sir, I know how you're.
Not any extrapolation was inflation near 21%. He is fucking. Bessent punched Elon? Did he really, Jim? I didn't know it was him. I thought it was Sean Duffy who punched somebody or got in a fight. Are you sure it was Scott Bessent? He's a lover, not a fighter. Come on now.
You're playing games. You're doing the aggregate over the Biden administration. The last few months.
And you are.
No, the number 2.7 is your own number for last year, the year of the Trump administration. So let me ask you.
And you're being a deconstructionist and saying day one.
And great. Well, I'm just reading the president's own.
No, bitch. We're talking about December of 2025, you stupid cunt. It was 2.7. That's the year-end annual fucking Oh, was it really? Good. Well, I hope he got punched back. I'm Team Elon in that fight. But anyway, no, he's telling you your own numbers is 2.7. That's it. It's not 2.1. It's not 2. It's not anything. Stop lying to the American people.
Statements, I mean, if these,
I'm glad you all have the same talking
Chairman, I
point.
ask unanimous consent that these statements be placed in the record.
Without objection.
All right. Look, Mr. Secretary, you used to believe that tariffs would increase inflation and prices. Isn't that true?
I wrote that in a letter to my investors, but a year before, I also wrote that I thought Senator Warren would be the Democratic presidential nominee.
Okay. But,
So
Mr.
my
Secretary, please.
predictions have been bad.
Please.
Have been bad.
Okay.
So,
Mr. Secretary, it was January 2024. You said that increased
Then are you even
tariffs would
qualified to do
raise
this
prices.
job?
no, I said they could, and I also said it would strengthen the dollar, and the opposite has happened. The
So-
prices have not gone up due to
Wait a minute. Wait. I also said they would strengthen the dollar, and now look at us. We fucked the dollar and the prices. Wait, what? Wait, what'd I say? Wait, what? Wait, what'd I say? It's just my opinion.
The following moments may contain
Yeah.
explicit language.
They will. They definitely will. Wait, I know. And I need this. Okay, I'm sorry. Just can you stay with me for a minute? Okay, because I just need to hear this, and then we can move on. Okay. Yeah, that's what I feel about you.
uh, 150 years of data from the San Francisco Fed.
Mr.
show-
Secretary,
show
you're again, you're
that we-
cherry
that-
picking, you're cherry picking numbers.
As
It
are-
is a
as are you.
fact that prices continue to go up.
And
I
that-
understand.
that is
Mr.
desirable over the long term.
I understand that you said just at this hearing that building costs are down. I just want to point out for the record that the National Association of Home Builders said on January 29th, not very long ago, that costs are up. Construction costs account for about 65% of average home prices in 2024. And they say, and I'm quoting, record high for construction costs since the inception of the series in 1998. Not the Biden administration, 1998. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Is that a
sir.
2024 number?
Senator Haggerty?
This is a number from the home builders. I'm happy to share it with you.
Thank you.
Senator Haggerty?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Besson, it's always great to have you here.
Good to see you, Senator.
There's not a day that
you
goes
guys
by
wanna
that I don't
meet
get
up for
someone
a
complimenting
cappuccino after? I'm
on
sorry,
the
I'm gonna
great
have to move
Prices
ahead because I
during
hate you.
the funding for the U.S. government.
I hate Republicans. I don't need to hear what these Nazi pedo supporters. I don't listen to pedo supporters. Yeah, probably a lot of slapping. I don't listen to people who support pedophiles.
Mr. Chairman.
It was a question, but I want to make sure it's right.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Ranking Member. Secretary, thank you for being here. I appreciate your opening comments and your report of the Financial Stability Oversight Council's 2025 annual report. You stated in your opening comments that the Treasury has tirelessly pursued pro-growth policies to unlock the potential available to all Americans when they are free to save, invest, build businesses, and drive their own economic destiny. So let's talk about building businesses under this administration. And this is nothing new to you because we've been talking, and I've been talking to you about this for the last year. In Nevada, travel and tourism are the backbone of our economy. Tourism makes up nearly 30% of Nevada's economy, generating $24.4 billion in total wages. This administration's blanket tariffs
Oh my
and
God, Josh!
insulting
yes.
rhetoric towards our closest allies are damaging America's tourism economy. For instance, the U.S. saw 12 straight months of declining visitors from Canada last year. The top international market for Las Vegas, that's roughly a 20% decrease for my state. That is countless dollars, jobs that my state, we are losing, paychecks that won't go to Nevada residents, including the over 400,000 hospitality workers across the state who are dealing with this issue. So my question to you is, will you apologize for driving away visitors and hurting our working families?
A couple of things, Senator. One is the Canadian economy is doing poorly, so perhaps part of that, maybe we should deconstruct why Canadian tourism is down. And two, that it's a choice by the Canadians in terms of where they want to go. And so if you think that should we pull down all of our trade barriers with China so that 1.4 billion people...
Gosh, Canadians, why aren't you coming down? What's the matter? Don't you like autocracy? Don't you like authoritarian tyranny? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Can you even get in our country? Are we going to actually, are we going to just detain you? I don't know. I guess that's a gamble you're going to have to take. Blue. Yeah, okay. I'm going to read you the Reuters from January 14th, 2026. Fewer foreigners visited U.S. in 2025 as global tourism spending rose. Guess what, kids? These guys closed the country to tourism. So if you live in Florida, California, Nevada, New York, wherever tourists, really assemble in large numbers, you're fucked. If your economy depends on tourists, fuck you. It's crazy. Hello? Wake up. Hello? Wake up. It's time to wake up.
People can fill up the hotel rooms in Las Vegas.
So this is the data from the Commerce Department, this administration's Commerce Department on National Travel and Tourism Office, year-over-year declines in travelers from October 24th to the 25th. It's not just from Canada. It's from Germany. It's from the Netherlands. It's from Australia. It's New Zealand. It's India. It's Vietnam. It's Philippines. We are seeing under this administration a U.S. Travel Association travel forecast that is dealing with now nearly a $70 billion travel trade deficit for 2025. So how do you intend to address the tourism travel issue that we are losing money in this country because of the policies of this administration?
Is overall the occupancy in Las Vegas down or more Americans going?
I'm talking about internationally. It's not just me. It's Florida. It's other states that are dealing with a decline in tourism. And this is my conversation with you for the last year that seems to be this administration keeps ignoring. It is a $1 trillion industry to this country, and you don't seem to think it is important. Let me talk about something else, though.
Let's look. Let's look. Thank you, Senator. Let's look. So when I say, tell me about the decline in Las Vegas tourism, it'll tell me if there was or wasn't. It says, yes, Las Vegas tourism experienced a notable decline in 2025 with roughly a 7.5% drop in visitors to 38.5 million compared to 2024, attributed to cautious consumer spending, rising costs, resort fees, dining, and fewer international travelers despite steady convention business. The slump led to lower hotel occupancy, but the industry remains optimistic, which of course they have to, which they're focusing on affordability and value. All right. So he's lying. And actually the blogs and shit that I see from Las Vegas, from like the people who live in Las Vegas that blog about Las Vegas, I do watch actually a couple of those people because they're really nice people. They are actually complaining about how dead Las Vegas is. And they've been saying that all through the year. Yeah, Europe is staying away. Everyone is staying away. This is down. And 7.5% drop in visitors for 2025 is big. And guess what? It's not going to get better. Because no one wants to come and visit an autocratic country where they perceive that the leader will shoot you in the face or imprison you or rendition you to another country or hassle you at the border. Who the fuck would want to make a vacation about that? Odd that Slumpo's mainline business used to be hospitality and he doesn't care. Of course he doesn't care. He doesn't make
You
money. He
mentioned-
doesn't do anything about that. It doesn't help him anymore. Like, oh, it's all just a boondoggle.
You mentioned, no, I'll give you an opportunity.
Good.
But you mentioned how you're trying to help my service industry. And I supported this, no tax on tips, because I think more people should keep money in their pocket. But if you're in a service industry and you don't have tourism coming and you don't have a job, it doesn't really matter if your tips are taxed if you're not getting tips. There's a problem. You just have to come to my state, talk to my service industry, talk to the individuals to see. They are not feeling better. No matter how much you and this administration start talking about how wonderful this economy is, they're not seeing it. It is a problem. And I'm asking, and I think some of my colleagues as well, let's fix it. There's affordability issue in this country, and we need to address it working together. Let's solve this problem. Let's not come up with facts. Let's not tell the American public something that they don't see in their own bank account. Let's just work together to figure it out. That's all I'm asking. I'm asking you to work with us. One final thing. It's not just my service industry. It is small businesses across the country who are being squeezed. We have seen it time and time again. The tourists. Listen, the facts are there. You can debate with me the facts, but the truth of the matter is many of our small businesses are being squeezed right now. Higher prices, absorbing higher costs. Some of them.
Actually, Cam, that's totally true. Yeah, we read a story about ICE accompanying the Olympic whatever. And my questions are very specific. Like, I don't think ICE, well, first of all, ICE isn't trained. So that's the period is after trained. They're certainly not trained in diplomatic security. Okay? They are not trained in diplomatic security. So why ICE would be going, the only reason I can think of is that they are a captured force. That they will do what the military will not do, which is brutalize people without, without any kind of concern. So I think, Cam, it's because they want to control the security force around them. They know that they can't do that with just standard Secret Service, or I don't know who else they would bring. I don't know. I think it's the Secret Service that's supposed to be doing that. Yeah, the Italians know how to deal with fascists. And if you don't want to end up on the side of a wall like Mussolini, I mean, everybody ends up on the wall, bitch. That's what I've been saying, okay? I'm sorry. There's one way this ends. There's one way this ends, and I don't make it up. It's fucking history, okay? It's fucking history. Every despot, every tyrannical leader who is fanatical about the autocracy and the tyranny ends up hung on a wall, shot in the head, dumped in a river. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, that's history. So I don't know what these guys are thinking, but they're not that smart. Meowing says, let's see, just the idea of American immigrations and customs agents operating. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, Cam. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's really ridiculous. For what it's worth, Canadian tourism hit record high numbers in 2025. Instead of going to the U.S., Canadians stayed in the country. We still had enough money to travel. We just didn't go to the U.S. Well, there you go. It is worth a lot, actually. I think it's a predicate for using them as a security force. Yes, in D.C., maybe. I just think it's the one police force they really can control from stem to stern. I really do. I think that's the one group that they feel like these guys will be loyal because they have to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but I think that's probably part of the calculus. Latest video from Some More News addresses the stock market, the Fed, and how money is fake. An hour long, but worth checking out. Oh, yeah, I would like to I saw that in the Discord. Autocrat needs his paramilitary. Yes, Meowing. Yes. 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 I wonder if the reports of them not getting paid, there's like Reddits out there about these ICE guys not getting paid for like 4 weeks or so, but I don't think that's true. But I don't know. I wonder how true those stories are.
have had to shutter. The small businesses are the backbone of our industry. We've got to do a better job for them. I know my time is up. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
ma'am.
Guess there was no
Senator
question.
Tillis?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Bisson, thank you for being here. I'm going to give you a breather. I got a statement to make that I don't expect you to respond to. Mr. Chairman, I seek unanimous consent to put into the record the statement of various banking committee members with respect to the testimony of Chair Powell in his last hearing here.
Without objection?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, that's a list of members who have indicated that they did not see criminal intent in his comments here before he was in the banking committee. The reason I brought this up is I had a reporter yesterday challenge me on why it was inappropriate for a sitting member to question a pending investigation. I never do that. But I told the reporter I did it because I was actually a witness at the alleged scene of the crime. The entire case against Senator Powell is encapsulated in his answers to questions before this committee. And now, including the chair, we have witnesses at the alleged scene of the crime we're disappointed with Chair Powell. I actually like Warsh as a potential.
What the fuck is happening? What is this useless skin bag, this skin tag on the penis of society? What exactly is his drama right now? What is his drama? What the fuck? Is he talking about when Powell was confirmed, like the nomination hearings? Is he claiming that Powell somehow committed some kind of crime here? I don't understand. I'm very confused what Tillis is up to. And he's useless. So I'm curious, but I'm not going to have much patience if he doesn't get to the motherfucking point. What's the fucking crime?
But we've all said that he was testifying and we didn't see a crime. And so I'm reminded, I don't know about you all, I watch Forensic Files. I've been watching it for years. And I'm kind of thinking about the scene would go like this. In spite of 7 witnesses, eyewitnesses, saying no crime was committed, the prosecutor thinks otherwise. And then you hear that music and you cut to commercial. So I do think it's fine for me, being a witness at the scene of the alleged crime, saying that we got a majority of people on this side of the aisle that didn't think a crime got committed either. If we do this sort of stuff, I believe that future hearings.
Is this his way of saying it's not appropriate to sue Jerome Powell? Is that what it is? I don't know. I can't tell with this motherfucker. This useless piece of shit. Is he saying that we shouldn't be going after Jerome Powell for fake weaponization of the justice system? Or is he saying something else and I'm just not understanding?
For the Treasury Secretary and other members will be a lot like that Chappelle skit on I Plead the Fifth. They're going to be flanked with attorneys, and any time that they think that they're in the middle of a perjury trap, they're probably just going to say, I'll submit it to the record after consultation with my attorneys. Is that really the way we want oversight to go in the future? I don't expect an answer to the question, but I did want to get that off my chest, so I gave a more fulsome answer to that reporter who asked why it was that I was opining on an active investigation. Mr. Secretary, I'm thrilled that you're in the role you're in.
The profitability of credit card companies doesn't have to be hit if they.
If we put, well, I don't know where you are on the.
I kind of want to hear this conversation because this is about this whole, like, the thing that Trump pulled out of his ass where it's like, I want credit card companies to go to 10% for a year. APR. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to cut you from 29% APR to 10. Take it all, bitch. That's what he's telling the credit card companies, which, you know, is fine. That's great.
Policy, but what would happen to, let's just say one area, asset backed securities. If we imposed artificial 10% cap on credit card interest rates, and then if you have time in the minute, it's the only question I'm going to ask you. What would it likely do for credit card issuers who are still going to have to rate for risk in terms of debanking or unbanking or reducing access to a credit? So if you could get to the first one, which has to do with asset-backed securities, if you have time, you can go to the second one. Thank you.
Yes, I think we at Treasury are still examining what it would do to the asset security market. I think it would depend on the length. The president's called for 1 year. And we would also see if they were able to cut costs. Senator, because what's happened is we've seen a migration where credit card companies used to compete.
We'll see. This is the administration's policy about this thing that he said like a month ago, saying that credit card companies were going to be forced to cap their APR or whatever, their percentage rate at 10%. Oh yeah, Lee, I gotta be it. I gotta do it. I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm so glad you're here. So he just said that they will look at all the implications from the verbal diarrhea that what? Really? 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 So yeah, they have not planned anything. This is the same type of situation as yesterday when he was asked about the money from the Venezuelan oil sales and whether or not, because all that $500 million has now been returned to Venezuela, by the way. That was reported a couple days ago by Reuters. But when asked about that, when asked about the money going to Venezuela, which apparently we're supposed to oversee how it's being spent because we're so concerned about corruption in the Venezuelan government, when asked about how they were going to track that, they don't have an audit plan. They've already sent the money to Venezuela, the same regime that Maduro led, by the way. I mean, for real. Like, you can't make this shit up. And this is what they're counting on. They're counting on it is so bold and audacious that you won't be able to really think it's real until it's real. It's a midterm stunt that isn't going to work because Capital One, Discover, whoever are the card carriers, the ones that actually charge the APR. Visa and MasterCard don't charge the APR. The people who carry their cards, like Discover, like banks, like Capital One, like your bank, they're the ones who charge the interest rate, right? And you're telling me that Capital One, I don't know if you've been to their headquarters in Richmond, Virginia, but I have because they used to donate. They are not going to cut their top rate from maybe 29% APR down to 10% for a minute, let alone a year. Nobody, yeah. I just like, what? Excuse me, what? And it's illegal for us to control the money because we aren't at war with them. Yeah, there's a ton of reasons. But, there's just what I'm trying to point out, too, is that there's just no plan. There's no plan because they don't care about those outcomes. They're focused on the damage that can be done. And I know that sounds like just rhetoric, but I'm telling you, I'm talking about the elimination of regulations that protect people and land, which is people ultimately. They're increasing taxes through tariffs, right? That is a tax on us, a consumer tax, while cutting the corporate tax rate and allowing companies who build here to expense their projects for, get this, 100%, and not over a series of years, because that's usually how it's done, your losses, you know, or whatever. You could, but he's saying you can expense the cost of your manufacture or whatever here in the United States, all in the first year. I mean, like this is not, there's nothing even to really like dig into or research. It's all right there. You're being fucked, and it's not the good kind. Okay? Like, wake up. Wake up, idiots. These guys are sitting pretty while we pay the bill and do the dying. Yikes.
On APR, or the
Yikes.
interest rate, to rewards, and the rewards go mostly to the upper end. So again, the profitability of credit card companies doesn't have to be hit if they concentrate more on competing on rates than rewards.
Work on the spread, but there's a lot of frothiness in there if we don't get it right. Thank you, Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you, sir. Senator Warner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And boy, I didn't hear Senator Kennedy this morning, but Senator, tell us, you were like out Kennedying Kennedy today in terms of your presentation. That's a high bar. Mr. Secretary, good to see you. Mr.
We will not extend to you anymore.
Mr. I got to get my in a House move. I reclaim my time.
4 minutes and 38 seconds. Please use them.
You actually have a
All right, Mr. Secretary, I got a bunch of stuff. One of the reasons I voted for you, encouraged others, was your support for CDFIs. One of the things I'm really proud of, Senator Crapo and I have had an active bipartisan CDFI caucus. And last October, oh my gosh, Senator Crapo got 105 Republican members of Congress, including 8 Republicans on this committee, to say CDFIs, it's a good program. Yet the CDFI fund at $324 million in fiscal year 25, it's now February 26, and none of these funds have been released. And I know we've talked about this. Treasurer, I know, works with OMB and some difficulties there. And we're hearing from CDFIs and how this is dramatically affecting. When can we expect those funds to get released?
Senator, I can't give you an answer. OMB will decide the terms and the timing of the CDFI apportionments.
Mr. Secretary, I got to tell you, you're the Treasury Secretary. You run this program. You had 105 Republicans say we need to get the money out.
Well, Senator, unlike the
please.
Federal Reserve, I can't print magic money.
Well, you sure as heck could call the OMB director and say this is a program that you have legal authority over. It is important. Matter of fact, as we talked about, President Trump, in many ways, I know he's forgotten this, but in 2019 became the godfather of CDFIs. When in the last Trump COVID package, he put $12 billion into this program. So I urge you, please, Mr. Secretary, pick up the phone and call. I know it would be difficult. I wouldn't want to talk to the OMB director either that much, but please talk to him and see if you can get those dollars released. It is so important. And I hope the 8 of my Republican colleagues will at least say, attaboy Warner on this one. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I reserve my time back.
Let me tell you what he's talking about in case you don't know, because I didn't know what a CDFI is. Community Development Financial Institutions are specialized, mission-driven financial organizations, including banks, credit unions, loan funds, and venture capital funds that provide fair, responsible financing to underserved, low-income, and rural communities. Certified by the CDFI Fund, the U.S. Department of the Treasury, which is the money he's talking about. They drive economic growth by offering loans for small businesses, affordable housing, and community projects. And this asswipe, this useless excuse for a human being, Scott Bessent, Mrs. Beasley, can't be bothered to talk to Russ Vought because Russ Vought is too scary, which, you know, okay, I guess. He won't talk to Russ Vought to get the money that has been approved by Congress for this program, for you and me, for you in the middle of America who are bitching about a lack of access to credit unions or banking or a lack of access to venture capital funds or small business loans. You can blame Mrs. Beasley for that because he's not lifting a motherfucking finger to enforce the money that he was apportioned to fund that program. This should be beyond, of course, everything is beyond the pale. I'm still stuck on the attack on the poverty level. And I'm so glad that everybody can hee-haw with each other, right? I'm really glad that they can, sit there and kiki with each other. Wow, I don't know. I voted for the lady who laughed too much.
I want to add, I know we're spending a lot. I feel like I'm in crypto hell. I know, Cynthia. I'm welcome to it, and God bless you. And
no, Cynthia Loomis is driving the crypto bullshit in this administration. Okay, Cynthia Loomis is a fucking Nazi bitch who is paid and bought by the crypto industry. Don't get it twisted. She's not in it for you, folks. She's in it for the all the crypto bros. Okay? Yeah, praising each other while they destroy the country and people is very beyond the... I don't even know where we've gone, Meowing Star. Like, I know this country has been problematic since the beginning. Let's be real about it. This feels like some orders of magnitude, just in terms of its visibility, I guess, because it's always been this way for many communities in our country. Has been this bad, has been this terrible, But I just realized Rewolf is Max. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I just don't understand why everybody's so okay with the damage. And we've talked about the crypto shit. Okay, we've talked about the scams. We've talked about the rug pulls. We were ahead of the game when talking about Hayden Davis and his role in the rug pulls for the fucking Trump family. We just talked about the billions of dollars that Eric, the dumb one, got from the fucking Saudis or the Emiratis. Jesus, people, wake up. Yikes.
I think, and actually, and I really appreciate what you did on the stablecoins bill. And I think, we got a lot of broad bipartisan support. At least many of us, I think all of my Republicans and many of my Democratic friends agree we want these products built in America. Crypto's here to stay, and we need clear rules of the road. And stablecoin was simple compared to market structure. But you have one of the things that we see in crypto, and we are working our tail off. You can please, I think the chairman and I've spent, and Cynthia and others have spent more time on this than, anyway, I'm going to use up my time. But there are a lot of issues around national security that you have unique perspectives on with FinCEN, with the Secret Service. We sure as heck don't want to take away from prosecutors some of the tools they have to go against bad guys. We've got to have some area to close down some of the gaps in DeFi. And again, there's bipartisan agreement on this, but boy, we need, I think we're starting to get some of the technical assistance. But if you can just make clear that this is a real problem, and we'll deal with yields and rewards, we'll deal with a host of other issues, but these national security issues around DeFi are real, and we need to not create a set of rules that leaves huge exemptions and candidly takes away some of the prosecutorial powers that exist today.
Senator, I look forward to working with you on that. We've had problems, and historically, there's problems when the technology gets ahead of the legislation. So if we can work with you on the legislation it's for both OFAC and FinCEN.
We love your technical assistance, and I think, Mr. Chairman and Senator Olmos, that you will be invited to our next round robin on that, and that may be later today or tomorrow or Monday. So
good. And if you could convince some of there seems to be a nihilist group in the industry who would prefer no regulation over this very good regulation.
Amen, brother. So weigh in.
Excuse me.
Viewer
Hello.
discretion is advised.
Sorry. Let me. Okay, just a minute. Attention shoppers. Attention shoppers. Let me just tell you what's happening here. I don't know what's happening with Mr. Warner, but he seems to have lost his other fucking mind. Because at the end of the day, Scotty Besant and his friends, I'm just going to put up that headline again. The SEC was tough on crypto. It pulled back after Dump returned to office. This is from December of 2025. So the nihilists that he speaks of are his buddies. And Dumpy Dump and his Pamela Joe have let them all off the fucking hook. Yeah, Warner's just another rich guy. So fuck you. Fuck you. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
I do.
Weigh in.
Early and often, Senator.
Weigh in. One last comment. I know my time is up. No, last comment. Hey,
Senator.
agentic AI, we got to come back and talk about. Agentic AI, huge possibilities with AI, but we've got to be careful about that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Unbelievable. Okay. Senator Lummis.
Thank you. I'm going to pursue this line of questioning.
Here's the crypto
Thank you,
bitch.
Mr. Secretary, for being
captured.
here. You've had a
Owned
chance to
by
travel the world
crypto.
since you
She's made
took
a
the oath
crypto.
of office. Is China trying to use digital assets and blockchain to build an alternative to American financial leadership?
We don't know that for sure. There are lots of rumors of Chinese digital assets that may be backed by something other than the RMB, perhaps gold-based. We haven't seen that. They have a very large sandbox in Hong Kong, and HKMA is actively traveling the world looking at different mechanisms. So I would not be surprised.
Based on what you know now, what is your opinion about the importance of having clear rules of the road, market structure legislation in the United States?
Look, I think that it's impossible to proceed without it. We have to get this Clarity Act across the finish line, and any market participants who don't want it should move to El Salvador.
So, as a industry, what is
Wait, what? Why are we all moving to El Salvador? What are we talking about? And we actually own El Salvador now. I don't really get it. Yeah, the bald guy is like, he checked out. He's thinking about the new episode of Canada Shore, which actually is a thing now. They have a Jersey Shore, but in Canada, and I'm watching it. I'm here for it. What is talking about? Who's moving to El Salvador? Why El Salvador? What? Girl, you're losing your mind.
is the benefit
And you know
to
what?
having
Those fucking ruffles on her shirt are stupid. 1976 called. They want their outfit back. God, man, I'm sorry. There is also fashion reads on this channel. If you haven't noticed, if you wear a gray suit, you're dead to me. Is that to live in crypto land? Is that what he's saying? Her eyes are evil. No. She, first of all, as a former alcoholic or an alcoholic who hasn't drunk since 2005, I'm going to tell you, she's tipping in the little White Claws, okay? Yeah, Canada Shore. I'm not fucking kidding you, Neil. We're going to watch it in Discord. I'm going to make y'all watch it. I'm not going to. I'm just kidding. But I would if you wanted to. Because it's pretty funny. Anyway, it's not funny, actually. Yeah, no, she actually, I think she really kind of, yes, I am, Badger. Get ready. Anyway, and they're in Kelowna. Kelowna? Is that what they call it? Kelowna or Kelowna? Kelowna? It must be Kelowna, right? That's where they're based. Not El Salvador. Yeah, she actually, I think, has had one too many White Claws. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, it's her drink of choice. I don't make the rules. Okay, wait, what's a better one? Mad Dog 2020? Is she MD 2020 girl? She an OE 40 girl? No, she's not an OE 40 girl. She'd have a much redder nose. I was wondering about Canada Shore. I'm going to check it out now. Karen, I watched all of Jersey and Georgia, Newcastle, and loved the dumb drunk drama. Well, get ready because now it's in Canadian. Thunderbird, there you go. Lots of maple MAGA. Yeah, it's like a party town or something. At least we didn't hit the Boone's Farm bottom. That's what she drinks. Yeah, skinny margaritas. She drinks Boone's Farm because, you know, us girls from the 80s, man, we used to party on Boone's Farm. I know she's as old as I am. That bitch can't lie. I don't know what was going on with the Amazon hair, though. And I'm not really sure. Her blouse goes with the Tillis's bolo tie. What is he culturally appropriating? Is he? But maybe he is actually Native American. I shouldn't say that because I don't really know. Lots of retirees in Kelowna. Well, get ready because Canada Shore is coming your way. Even us millennials, we're still hitting the Boone's Farm. Fuck yeah! Way to go! All right, glad to see that survived the 80s because we hardly did. Anyway.
This industry.
I'd rather have some Strawberry Hill over White Claw.
Well,
I mean,
again,
I don't know what either of those taste like.
As I said, that there seem to be
country
people
quencher.
who want
I remember
to live
those.
in the U.S. but not have rules for this important industry, and we've got to bring safe, sound, and smart practices and the oversight of the U.S. government, but also allow for the freedom that is crypto. And I think it's a balance that is being worked out. It was worked out in the Genius Act, and I'm confident with leadership of people on both sides of the aisle that we can get clarity across the line this year.
Can you see a day when conventional banks and digital asset banking are offering the same types of products, giving each an advantage to offering a broader array of financial products to the American consumer?
I think that can happen over time, and we've actually been working with small and community banks to discuss how they can be part of the digital asset revolution also.
Yes,
Among the things that have challenged us in these last months is concern by community banks and big banks that the stablecoin bill, the Genius Act, and market structure could cause a bleeding of deposits from small banks. What's your reaction to that concern?
Look, I've been a champion of these small banks, and deposit volatility is very undesirable because it is the stability of those deposits that allows them to lend into their communities, ag, small business, real estate, and we will continue to work to make sure that there is no deposit volatility.
You know, about those small banks that I care so much about, we're going to try and make sure they have enough capital, or deposit stability. But we're not going to release the actual funds that would fund the program that would help them achieve that deposit stability. Sorry. We're going to come up with another magical way for them to do that. Or I'm just going to tell you that right now, and then it's all going to fall apart. But then I won't have to answer for it for like 9 months. And even when I do answer for it, I'm going to spin it so that it sounds like it was their fault. This is if you're, like for the 99% of us in this country, this regime is leaving you to the wolves. Us to the wolves, I should say. Carla! Cooter. Carla brings the cooter every single day. Carla brings a cooter and does it in her way. Oh, Carla brings the cooter. She does it every day. It's always a good time for cooter. $4 trillion added to the deficit in 1 year. Woo!
Certified
That's right. That's right. Wait, what do we got here? Oh,
Let the games begin.
there you go. Here's a cooter tooter from our Carla. If you know, you know. We'll get through this. I don't know. We might not watch the whole thing because, frankly, we've got other things to do. I've got shit I got to read to you because I got to read it.
Associated
And I
with
got to
this.
read to
Well,
somebody.
as an ag borrower, I commend you on that because I have borrowed from community banks on our ag operation for decades, and we're
Then why aren't
dependent
you
on our
asking him
community
about the
banking
funding for the
relationships
CDFI, you
in
stupid
rural
cunt?
America to help sustain us and grow our businesses. So I very much appreciate that. I want to switch to digital asset taxation for just a minute. So among the things that I'm exploring, and the Senate Finance Committee has a package of bills that looks really good to me on digital asset taxation. But one of them that's kind of vexing that I could use some guidance on is the issue of de minimis with regard to especially Bitcoin and other digital assets that might be used as a means of exchange. So the issue is, will it be a capital gain or will it be exempt from capital gains when it's used as a means of exchange to purchase things? And if it's going to be subject to a capital gain, how do you calculate what the capital gain is? If somebody has a blended portfolio of Bitcoin, some of which were purchased when it was $300, some of...
Hey, Cynthia, you stupid cunt. Guess what? We have fucking rules for that already. Okay? We have fucking rules for that already. It's called the SEC. And they establish those types of rules with the IRS to determine what lot of securities would experience the gain. Because guess what? Broker dealers keep track of the purchase price so that you can go back and say, was there a capital gain on that? Did it go up in value? Right? So guess what, you stupid cunt? Similarly, on the blockchain, there's a record of transactions. Now, granted, your friends don't want to have those records of transactions. I get it. I get that's the ultimate goal. I understand. But what you're saying is you don't want capital gains on the gains in crypto because it's just too hard to figure out which set of crypto was purchased when. Bullshit. The fucking SEC and IRS have created very specific motherfucking rules for that. Believe me. And those are pretty easily transferable to the digital asset community unless you're money laundering. Okay, well, I'll give you that, Cynthia. And I know some of your friends would like to money launder. I get it. We need to look at her open secrets. Holy shit. I never even thought of that. Holy shit. Oh, we may never get through this fucking thing. I just, the line is just so much. I want to see. Here we go. Let me see. What's her name? Cynthia Lummis? Cynthia. We died for our Cynthias. Cynthia Lummis. I think it's Lummis. Oops. If you don't know about opensecrets.org, you should. Because it's amazing. It shows you who gave money to whom. Oh, yeah, that's really impossible to see. Anyway, this is opensecrets.org, and I'm looking for Cynthia Lummis. I hope I find her. God, I hope I find her. God, I hope I find her. There she is, Senator Cynthia Lummis. Yeah. Oh, nice, Karen. I love it. The top industry giving money to this cunt was oil and gas. This is 2020. This is 2007 to 2024. So this is not last year. They're not going to actually have last year's numbers. Damn it. Because, Club for Growth. Oh, I know of them. Sinclair, that's the big media right-wing company. National Beer Wholesalers. See, I told you. PBR all the way. Arch Resources, I don't know what they do. The little super PAC action, the Senate Conservatives Fund. Yeah, top industries. It was oil and gas. This is through 2024, though. Damn it. It's 700,000 from oil and gas type industry. Leadership PAC, 620,000. I really want. Oh, when did her money go up? Total raise. Oh, it must have been just a campaign thing. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to be watching Miss Lummis, and I want to see her 2025 numbers. Hell yeah, bitch. I want to see her 2025 numbers. Yeah. Bring it on. Let's see what you got, Cynthia. Cynthia. Wait, God, I hope I get it, but got nothing. God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. One singular since you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. Oomph. Terrible. Digital ass hats. Yeah, they do it for stocks. I'm telling you right now, I worked in that industry. Please, okay? Oh my God. This is a no-brainer. They just don't want to tax the fucking crypto, okay? You did. I know I did. Damn it. Did I do it? God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. I love that song. Anyway, Loomis is someone we're going to take a look at.
Which were purchased today at 75,000, and some of which were purchased a year ago at over 100,000. How do you calculate the capital gain? Do you have some thoughts about that, or who I could consult with in your shop?
It's a very complicated subject. We'd be very happy to have our Office of Tax Policy work with your team.
I'll be over. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Look forward to seeing you.
I would just like to break down what just happened. She asked, oh my God, how does this even work? How does it even work? I don't really understand. How do we do it? I don't know. How in the world are we ever going to figure out what the capital gains would be on digital assets? I don't even know. She basically just told this idiot that what she's telegraphing is they don't want a capital gain structure on digital assets. Because this is you want to talk about a worldwide cabal, this is a cabal of people that have a shared interest in not paying any taxes. And that is 100% what is happening here. I was going to do the magnets thing, but I can't find it. Damn it. God, I got to fix this thing. Anyway, yeah. So there you go. That's kind of where we're at. That's my head right now. That's my head. Yeah, with math. You just go to the tables. It's real easy, actually. Even I can do it. Even I can figure out your capital gains. Okay, I'm going to stop this because, frankly, I don't know. What do we have any? Oh, God, no. Katie Britt? Nope. Oh, actually, we'll go to Warnock. I'm going to bypass Britt. We're just going to hear the Democrats, and then I got to read some stuff to you. Because I want
a, quote, golden age of American manufacturing. In September 2024, at a rally in my home state of Georgia, Donald Trump said, quote, we're going to have a manufacturing boom. Secretary Bessent, we're now more than 1 year into the Trump administration. Yes or no? Has there been a manufacturing boom in the United States?
There are the beginnings of a manufacturing boom. We have intentions, factory groundbreakings, sir.
So your answer to that is yes, there's been a manufacturing boom?
That we are at the beginning of a manufacturing boom.
Okay, you and I could agree to disagree, but more importantly, manufacturers are telling us something different. Manufacturers are struggling because of the president's policies, and that's what they keep telling us, and the facts keep telling us. In fact, just this past Monday, the Wall Street Journal published this article entitled, U.S. Manufacturing is in Retreat, and Trump's tariffs aren't helping. I request consent to enter this article into the hearing record. Mr. Chairman?
Without objection.
Secretary Besson, do you know how many manufacturing jobs the United States has lost since Liberation Day in April 2025, when the president first announced his tariffs?
Yes, Senator, because you were out of the room, but it was already brought up.
We do many things, sir. I don't need you to tell me where I was.
72,000, and I will point out that the Wall Street Journal
72,000
is not called the Main Street Journal, and they care more about Wall
I'm not,
Street than Main
sir,
Street.
I'm not asking you to opine on the Wall Street Journal. I have 3 minutes. Just answer the questions that I'm actually asking you. So 72,000 manufacturing jobs, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Thank you for answering the question. Manufacturers shed workers in each of the 8 months after President Trump unveiled his tariffs on what he called Liberation Day. I would submit that it's a strange liberation and a curious freedom that leaves you unemployed. Even worse, smaller businesses are struggling to keep up with the tariff chaos. Big manufacturers may have the resources to shift suppliers. And I need you to understand the spirit of my questions. I spend a lot of time talking to the people in Georgia who've given me the great honor of representing them in the United States Senate. And so this is about them, and especially our small businesses. They don't have the ear of the president. They don't have access to Mar-a-Lago, and so they're not able to insulate their company from the worst of the tariff. Secretary Besson, small businesses without the same resources or unfettered access to the president, what should those businesses do for the relief if they can't get into Mar-a-Lago?
Again, sir, small business confidence is up. And we are seeing that the one big beautiful bill gives the full expensing for...
This is 1 year of from the Federal Reserve. This is the Federal Reserve in St. Louis. So this isn't, that's what Fred is. It's the data. December 2025, thousands of persons seasonally adjusted monthly manufacturing jobs. And over the year, January 2025, this is December 2024, 12,760. January 2025 goes down, goes up a little bit in the spring of 2025, and then plummets. So I'm sorry, Mrs. Beasley, but you're lying again about the fucking numbers. And what I read in terms of economists talking about manufacturing jobs is that it is pretty clear, and I'll pull the data if anybody feels like they really need to have it proven to them, that the forecast is that they're not going to be mass manufacturing jobs. There will be highly specialized jobs within manufacturing type environments, but that AI and robotics will replace the less specialized work. Let's put it that way, right? And that what they call here's what they call it. The economists have a fucking name for it, okay? They call it a jobless boom, where you have growth in profits, etc., but they don't correspond to higher employment. It's a thing, and it's called data. And I know that Mrs. Beasley would like to sell you a bill of goods, and some of you are dumb enough to take it, chuds, who hate me, who hate watch me. Thank you for hate watching. I hope you pick something up, because I'm trying to help you. You know, I'm going to fight for everybody's rights, including MAGA, because I don't think we should be taken advantage of by billionaires. I don't want anyone to suffer because of this fucking regime, which is really all I care about. All I care about is that people do not suffer. That's my party. You want to know what my party affiliation is? My party affiliation is I'm sick of seeing people suffer and be taken advantage of. There's my politics. And I'll fight for your rights too, even if I fucking hate you. Even if I totally can't stand you and I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire in the middle of the street, I still want you to have all the rights that we are supposed to have in this country. And that means, okay, I'm not going to go on. I'm off my soapbox. I'm so sorry. Okay, but anyway, I just wanted to fucking throw data up there because apparently we can't fucking have nice things. We have to fucking fact check every bitch. Yeah, all that MAGA merch is heavily tariffed.
Equipment, factories, and ag structures.
They are telling us
Wait.
that it's
No, let's talk about the soybean farmers, okay? Because like a week ago or maybe a couple weeks ago, we read about in the lounge the fact that the soybean farmers in America are fucked because their crops don't come in until the fall. And people who are buying soybeans are buying them from Brazil because they have a comparable product and it's cheaper. So guess what, soybean farmers? You're fucked because, first of all the buying that's going to happen in the early part of the year isn't going to go to you anyway. And the fact that you then charge more than Brazilian soybeans means China, which is perhaps, I guess, the largest, I wonder if they're the largest importer of soybeans. I don't know. They may not be. But it's a significant import for them. They're going to get it from Brazil, which is what they're doing right now. I mean, this isn't like a theoretical. This is fucking happening right now. Okay, soybean farmers. So he doesn't love the farmers. He doesn't give a shit about you. Because he bought Argentinian eggs or something. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't give a flying fuck. None of these people give a flying fuck about you and your farm.
more expensive.
Listen, my grandpa was a pig farmer, all right, in Missouri. My father was a farmer. My father literally trapped beaver with his brother and sent the pelts to fucking LL Bean. Like, I come from, my grandfather didn't own anything. They sharecropped a farm. Okay? So I come from farmers. And my dad never lost that. He was an agricultural engineer, and he never lost that part of who he was. And so I really feel strongly about Argentinian. I thought it was Brazil. Oh, maybe it was the Argentine. I think it was both. Anyway, I'm just saying, I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to help y'all. And Brazil is harvesting right now because their season is now. Our season is later. We read about it.
To make basic things. We are moving in the wrong direction. The facts don't lie. The president lies often, but the facts don't lie. In fact, if you're saying we're at the beginning, basically your answer to those small businesses is wait a little while. Is that the answer? That a year from
you ask about manufacturing.
That's right.
So
I'm asking you,
and I am saying
I'm asking you about this manufacturing boom. Will we see something different?
This was literally, we're talking about the 30s during the Depression, Badger. Come on. My family was starving during the 30s. That's why they trapped beaver and sent them. Sorry. It's called survival. So sorry about the beavers. I don't think he drowned them. I think they probably killed them, but I don't think they drowned. I don't remember him saying that. Anyway, you know what? You got to eat.
We are going to see it. I was just in my home state, Senator Scott's state, South Carolina, that we are seeing a boom there. And I believe Georgia has very good pro-business policies. I'm sure you will see a boom there also. The factory build intentions are quite high.
I'll tell you what I see. I see, as I talk to folks, that it's more expensive to build things in America. I see that we've lost 72,000 jobs a year into this administration. We've lost manufacturing jobs every month since he called for Liberation Day. And meanwhile, folks who are working in these small businesses trying to make their lives work, they're seeing higher costs. They're seeing their costs go up for groceries. They're seeing their costs go up for electricity. They're seeing their costs go up for health care. And I think the American people are still waiting for a solution. So far, we haven't seen one coming out of this Trump tariffs regime. The Baptist preacher is done,
21.5%
and I have no time left.
After
Thank you very much,
21.5%
Mr. Secretary.
inflation.
Senator Ricketts?
Thank you very much, Chairman Scott and Ranking Member Warren, for this hearing, and Secretary Bessent, thanks very much for being here. Appreciate it.
It's good to see you, Senator.
Good seeing you. And I want to thank you and commend you for updating the 45Z clean fuel production credit that is
of sovereignty and law.
Senator, I've been saying that since my confirmation.
That's right. Also, would you
going to be
Sorry, I
doing
wanna hear-
with
I wanna hear
regard
this
to
whole thing from the
consumer
Democrat.
confidence and making, obviously, we had 4-year high
consumer
inflation under the
confidence,
Biden
Mr.
administration.
Ricketts. Mr. Ricketts, consumer confidence. And consumer confidence? Really? 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 Beaver liver is toxic to humans. Neil, you take that back. U.S. beavers, that's okay. Stop it! Badger doesn't want us to kill any beavers. Hey, good news, Badger, my dad's dead. He's not killing any more beavers. Don't worry about it. His beaver killing days are done. That's right. And his brother's dead too, so, the beavers are safe. The beavers are safe. Beaver anus used to be used for raspberry flavoring and called natural. What? What? Oh my God. Okay, this has really deteriorated into something I didn't plan on. Okay. All right, but anyway.
But what more can we be doing in the Senate to be able to help out with confidence of consumers?
Other than telling consumers to turn off MSNBC, because a large part of it is a survey problem where Democrats vote very low, Republicans are more realistic, and then we end up what we're seeing.
Senator Kim's time. I appreciate your comments, but
Yeah, thank you.
And by the way, for all members, they're going to close the vote at 12:05. So,
okay.
Just let
Thank
know
you,
that.
Chairman.
Started 10 minutes ago.
Thank you, Secretary, for coming on out here. Just the other week, you took part in talks with Russia. I guess I just wanted to ask you just your view of this. Do you agree that Russia's invasion of Ukraine was illegal and a violation of sovereignty and law?
Senator, I've been saying that since my confirmation.
That's right. Also, would you say that Vladimir Putin is a war criminal?
I've also been saying that since my confirmation.
Now, before you started, Treasury regularly targeted hundreds of actors and networks who sent critical goods to Russia's war machine with rounds of sanctions every 1 or 2 months. The previous administration added about 297 China-based entities and individuals to our sanctions list under the Russia sanctions program. I want to ask you, do you know how many you have added and designated as part of the Russia sanctions program since you came in as Treasury Secretary?
I do not, but I do know that President Trump sanctioned Rosneft and Lukoil, which was the major sanctions achievement, and dwarfs everything else, and has brought the Russians to the table for the talks that I was at last Saturday.
And you'll have bipartisan support for those sanctions, but I'll just say that there is also bipartisan support on doing everything we can to crack down on Russia's war machine, not just on the energy side. And so, as I said, the previous administration has added 297 China-based entities. This administration has added 0. That is the number 0. So I just urge you.
The previous administration was extremely weak on sanctions, and it was on record as saying that they did not want to increase energy sanctions because they were worried about the midterms, worried about the failed election of Vice President Harris, and in a display of cowardice.
I'm not asking you about that right now.
But on the way out the door, Jake Sullivan raised some of the energy sanctions. President Trump took the most bold action. So we have done more.
I'm asking you here, can you commit to this Congress that you will take action to sanction Russia's shadow fleet?
I will take it under consideration. We will see where the peace talks go.
I see how this administration has taken this maximalist approach, adding pressure when it comes to Iran's shadow fleet, talking about cutting off Venezuela's ships. I think that there needs to be consistency here. And again, there is bipartisan support for this. I wanted to just switch gears. Would you agree that money laundering is a national security threat to this country?
Yes, sir.
Now, with Binance founder Zhao pleaded guilty to violating anti-money laundering laws and was sent to prison, Binance then injected billions of dollars into Trump's family business, World Liberty Financial, and Zhao asked for a pardon and received that. I just wanted to ask you, is that a conflict of interest in your opinion?
I am unfamiliar with any of that. I wear many hats. The pardon hat is not one of them.
I'm just asking, do you see it as a conflict of interest, though?
Again, I'm not going to respond to that.
When you had the Russia talks, was Jared Kushner a part of the Russia talks?
Yes.
What is his official role in the U.S. government right now?
I believe that he is a special envoy.
So you believe that he has an official position and that is not a unpaid volunteer position?
Sorry, I believe that it is not an official position, that he is designated as an interlocutor as we bring many people into the talk.
I just raise this because this is the problem that we're seeing right now when it comes to these conflicts of interest. You know, we see the Trump family getting involved in different roles, even though they don't have official positions. We see Pakistan now announcing that they're going to use Trump's family's companies, crypto, for cross-border transactions and trade. Does that not concern you?
Again, I'd be especially interested to hear if you have any information of why Mr. Kushner is conflicted in the Russia talks.
Look, what I'm saying is that if he wants to be, if he wants to participate in that, he should go by the same financial disclosures and getting rid of conflicts of interest that every other senior government official, including yourself, have to go through. And look, I'm just saying that when we're seeing Trump pardoning Binance founder Zhao, when seeing instead investigating Jerome Powell, when we see that Trump is now suing the Treasury and the IRS for $10 billion, he even said, I am supposed to work out a settlement with myself. That's what Trump said. Do you think that that is a conflict of interest?
That is a Justice Department issue.
No, it is suing your department.
The Justice Department represents Treasury. I would suggest you contact Justice.
With that, I yield back.
Senator Kramer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. And let me say, I'm sorry you're no longer.
I think we're in an exciting time that could be like we saw in the 90s.
Fucking hate Kramer.
I agree with you. We're at the beginning
hold on.
of the boom.
You know, let me tell you while we're
I yield
making the
back
switch.
2 seconds.
I'm going to show you something.
Thank you, sir. Senator Gallego.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
show
Secretary
you
Besson, thank you
something.
again for being here today. You know, we kind of touched on this earlier. In addition to being Treasury Secretary, you are serving as Acting Director of the IRS. So following up on Senator Kim's questioning, so you are fully aware that the President is suing your agency for $10 billion.
Yeah.
We would agree. Would you agree that $10 billion is a good sum of money?
Yes, sir.
Where would that be cut from? Let's say for some reason he actually wins that lawsuit. Where would that $10 billion come from?
Again, it would come from...
Process-wise. I'm not asking like your opinion whether it's right or wrong.
It would come from Treasury.
It comes from Treasury, which comes from the general fund?
The Treasury general account.
So taxpayers?
Yes.
Thank you.
Part of the 440,000 taxpayers whose returns were leaked.
If the president, they're not suing, but if the president prevails in this lawsuit, he's going to be able to pocket that money. My question is the president, has anyone in the president's office talked to you about this lawsuit in any regard?
They have not, and the president said he will donate the proceeds to charity. You may have missed that.
So no one at all has
No.
discussed this to you?
We didn't miss it. No, we didn't miss it. I heard it. Yeah, the president said he's going to sue the government. He is suing the government. Our president is suing the taxpayers. That's what's happening right now. The president is suing on his personal level and then claiming, oh yeah, I'm going to give it to his charity and I'm going to give it to the big charities. I heard him talk about it on the fucking Air Force One. I'm going to give it to charities. Yeah, that's it. Literally. Well, he doesn't pay taxes anyway. Yeah. He literally is raping the country. He is stealing from you and me. He's taking our money. I don't want him deciding what charities to give it to. First of all, that's never going to happen. It's going to go to Qatar. Okay? And Jared Kushner has conflicts of interest all over the motherfucking world because he keeps taking fucking money from the motherfucking everybody, Saudis, Russians, anyone, especially the Saudis and the Emiratis and the Qataris. Kushner is all up their ass. And we can read dozens of articles as to why Jared Kushner is a fucking criminal like his father. But this fucking regime is full of criminals. Yeah, read up on Charles Kushner. He's now the ambassador to France or something. Okay? Yeah, this is his second frivolous lawsuit against the government to steal from taxpayers. Literally, people, come on, wake up. Wake the fuck up. Wake the motherfuck up. His library is that McDonald's he worked at during the fucking, and maybe Egypt. You're right, Karen. I mean, I don't think Jared discriminates when it comes to taking dark money from anybody. I think he'll take any money, anytime. Just look at what he spawned from. Charles Kushner was a convicted criminal who didn't he try to have his like brother-in-law killed or something like that? Like he literally was in jail for like a super bad thing. And then he was pardoned by Trump. Oh, but hold my champagne, because then he's been made, thank you, Lee, for confirming, he is now the ambassador to motherfucking France. So you can be a felon, threaten to kill members of your family or whatever, or extort them or whatever it is. Yeah, but is it 10 billion by 340 million? Because guess what? That's not the number of households that pay taxes. So it's bigger. And the fact that the president can steal money from American taxpayers is really mind-boggling to me. I just don't understand where that computes. Like, if Joe Biden did this, I'd be equally upset, okay? Can I tell you that? If Joe Biden pulled this shit, I would be completely apoplectic about it. Oh, that's right. Oh, thank you, Lee. Okay, Charles Kushner set a honey trap for the brother-in-law, taped it, and showed the tape to his sister to keep her from testifying against him in his fraud trial, because I think it was a fraud. We'll read about Charles if we need to, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is a criminal cabal. You want to talk about a cabal, bitch? Here's your cabal. Yeah, so there's that.
Whatsoever.
No, sir. And the president said he will.
Have you received, I didn't ask any more questions. Have you received any advice from Treasury's legal division about how to handle this potential conflict?
This is a Justice Department matter. They represent Treasury in it.
Had someone from the Department of Justice actually come and talk to you saying that this is their purview and you need to stay out of it? Or who has discussed to you what is your role in this?
Our general counsel, who's sitting behind me, has told me that it is a Justice Department matter. The Justice Department defends Treasury in matters like this.
Okay, so it has been discussed with you. Do you have any final say at all in the process of this? Or is the DOJ just going to instruct you to cut a check and or settle, and you have no independence to actually make a decision whether or not the president deserves $10 billion?
Again, that is a DOJ matter.
And so the DOJ will entirely make that decision whether or not the president should receive $10 billion. You have no say at all.
Correct.
So you would just have to write the check if you were told to write the check.
Correct.
And you would write the check willingly if you were told by a DOJ to the president.
I will follow the law, Senator.
Okay. I mean, I think for many of us, this is very simple. And I think if this had been happening in any other countries, it would look an absolute, like a total shakedown of the American taxpayer. Are you also aware that President Trump has filed claims seeking $230 million from the Justice Department for investigations conducted during his previous candidacy?
I'm unaware of the cumulative number.
Okay. So if the president wins or settles these claims, that money will come also from
the New York Times? Are you kidding, sir? Are you kidding? You don't read the New York Times? You didn't know it was $230 million? Because that number's been out there for quite a while. How embarrassing for you if you're the Treasury Secretary and you don't read newspapers. What's wrong with you? How can we be sure you know how to do your job if you're not sure what's currently happening in the world?
Treasury Judgment
What the
Fund,
fuck?
which you do control. Have you recused yourself from any decisions about paying the president on these claims?
Again, I'll follow the law, and I'm not involved with any of this. It stems from justice.
So you even though the Treasury Judgment Fund is called the Treasury Judgment Fund, you have no control over the Treasury Judgment Fund.
We act as paymaster.
So you will sign it then?
Sorry?
You will sign the check then? If you're a paymaster, you'd be the person's signature is to the Treasury Judgment Fund?
I would assume it would be a wire transfer.
Yes, I'm assuming we're not that old school.
Yep.
But that being said, so you have no say in this whatsoever. You will only basically follow what the DOJ says, but you're the person that actually is the final person that pushes send essentially on the wire transfer.
Yes.
And even if you feel or that it is unjust, the fact that this president is basically plundering U.S. taxpayer dollars, you will still hit that send button.
Even if I believe that 6103, the IRS tax code, was violated and 440,000 taxpayers were leaked.
So back to this other thing. So now, do you believe, though? I mean, do you understand why some of us see a problem with that? And let me ask just a very simple question: do you work for the president of the United States?
She is the goat.
I work for the American
Teresa
people.
is the goat. I get
So
a
can the
lot
president
of my
fire you?
knowledge from Teresa.
He can fire you, correct?
Yes.
So isn't it a conflict of interest that you're going to be
I know,
making
he
these
looks a little
decisions and the
gray.
president
I mean,
has
I-
full
you know,
power
I'm
over
not
you?
gonna
I
lie.
think
When
you're
you get to a
confused,
certain
Senator.
age,
I am
kinda
not
look
part
a
of the
little gray.
decision.
Well, you're certainly a person that send on the wire transfer, and I think that's why there's a lot of people that are actually.
That is not part of
Okay, so I'm just going to interrupt this because, frankly, I don't think this line of questioning is good. I'm sorry, Senator Gallego. I love you so much, but your line of questioning sucks because it's very easy for him to say, hey, man, my job is just to push the button. If the DOJ tells me to do something, I have to do it. So Ruben Gallego trying to get Scott Bessent to have a moral moment, a moment of reflection, it is not in our interest to encourage these folks to have a moment of reflection. They don't fucking care. That's a feature, not a bug. So I appreciate you, Mr. Gallego, for making the point that this money and these lawsuits are ridiculous and offensive. But your line of questioning is fucking bullshit because if I were him, I'd also say, well, sir, I'm not going to break the law. I'm going to follow the law. Come on, be smarter. Who the fuck are staffers working and prepping some of these senators? It's so disgusting to me. It does normalize it. Like, there's a million things that you can talk to Mrs. Beasley about. His job is not to settle the lawsuits, and it's you gave him an easy out. You made yourself look like an idiot. Thanks, Obama. No, I'm just kidding. God damn.
Do not trust and do not trust the president's actually look at his best interest.
It's fucking like Hakeem Jeffries and his extreme MAGA Republicans. Nobody gives a shit. Calling them extreme MAGA Republicans isn't going to do anything. It just makes us look like idiots who can't fucking articulate an argument against fascism. What?
I'm controlling the time here.
Obeying the
I'm
law.
controlling. You're not obeying the law. You're plundering U.S. taxpayer dollars. Plundering U.S. taxpayer dollars. Plundering taxpayer dollars. Plundering. Thank you. You're back.
Senator McCormick is now recognized.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, welcome. In Pennsylvania, we're fortunate to have abundant energy resources, as you know.
As desirable, but also a lack of growth as a financial stability risk.
Good. I don't have time for a final question, but I will just say
Sorry, I don't
want
have
to
softball
compliment you
time
and the
either, Mr.
administration and
McCormick, so
OFAC
go
in
fuck
particular
yourself.
for the maximum pressure campaign on Iran and what that means for supporting freedom in Iran. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Oh, really? Did bitch have anything to do with that? I don't think so. I definitely am the founder of the Mrs. Beasley comparison to Scott Bessent. Thank you very much. I'm very proud of it. But he does look like Mrs. Beasley. And frankly, Mrs. Beasley should be in the common ether. He looks like Mrs. Beasley. I'm telling you right now. This guy looks like Mrs. Beasley. Where is he? God damn it. Anyway, the point is, I need Mrs. Beasley back on the screen. Hold on just a minute. Now you guys have made me miss her. I miss her. And I love Mrs. Beasley. I'm a Mrs. Beasley fan, but not this Mrs. Beasley. And I'm just making a visual comparison. Hold on. I got to find her. We have too many. I have too many pictures that make fun of people. Like this one. Oops. Like that one. I have that one. Oh, God, they're all over there. Oh, my God. What? Oh, I see. Wait, where are you, Curtis Yarvin? Where'd you go? Anyway, okay, now I got to take Curtis Yarvin off the screen. Damn it! Okay, bye, Curtis. Damn it, Mrs. Beasley, where'd you go? Oh, wait, I've got this little feller over here. Hold on. I got this little feller. Oh, wait, where is he? Why isn't he not in front of everybody? Oh, I see why. There you go. There's Damien Vance. Remember this one? This was one of my favorites. I took the kid from The Omen and put, I love my paper dolls. You know how I love my paper dolls? Yes, it's like he's stretching his neck. Anyway, yeah, so that's Damien Vance. You know him. He's The Omen. Oh, and then I think, Teresa, did you give me this one? Or did you give me this one? Our U.S. Attorney in D.C.? Yeah. I know. I love my paper dolls. I just love it. It makes me so happy. And then we have like Sweaty Peter Thiel. Oops. Oh, shit. Sweaty Peter Thiel's right there. We got him. Let's see. Who else? Oh, we have, this is an oldie but a goodie. If you're an OG, you remember this one. This is old, okay? This is Tiffany Trump, who I deemed in 2021 to be Ivanka's organ donor and prison stand-in. And because she graduated from fucking law school, smarty, she's now their defense attorney. This is an old one. We've had this one for a long time. Tiffany Trump, Ivanka's organ donor and prison stand-in. And defense attorney. It's a floor wax and a dessert topping. All right, I'm sorry. We'll keep going.
Senator Blunt Rochester.
Thank you, Ranking Member Warren and Mr. Secretary, for your presentation of the 2025 annual report. Mr. Secretary, in your testimony, you talked about avoiding, quote, regulation by reflex and focusing on growth instead of reacting to every potential risk. You say FSOC is, quote, tuning out the white noise to concentrate on the issues that matter most. From my constituent calls and emails and conversations, I know for most families, they don't experience economic policy as white noise. They experience it through higher rent, higher medical bills, higher grocery prices, and just worrying that the next bill or price increase will push them over the edge. And it's why the Financial Stability Oversight Council's job is so important and why it can't wait until markets break. Its job is to spot problems early before families pay the price. Housing-related risks have been showing up for decades. On this committee, we've worked on the road to housing in a bipartisan way. And my first policy agenda, actually, as a senator, was focused on housing. So today, I want to understand what Treasury has actually done with these warnings. Secretary Bessent, in 2024, FSOC issued a report warning of weaknesses in non-bank mortgage servicers, companies that now handle most U.S. mortgages. Last year, on January 31st, 2025, GAO also warned that trouble at these firms could disrupt federally backed mortgage markets. So in light of these warnings by FSOC and GAO, what has Treasury done in response to address the risks in the housing market?
Well, that was the Yellen Treasury, and they said that everything was a risk. The Senator, that's why we are more focused, but we are very focused on the mortgage market through Fannie and Freddie and through the non-agency actors.
So is Treasury's position that this was overstated, this risk was overstated, or?
As I said in my statement, if everything is a risk, nothing is a risk.
But I'm specifically asking on
Yes,
the issue of housing.
Yes,
That's a dumb statement. Okay. It is really unfortunate that we have a fucking Treasury Secretary whose answer to the question, how is Treasury assisting home ownership? That his answer is that, well, we're not as risk averse as the last administration, and they didn't let any risk in. Well, that's a bullshit statement. Of course they do. That's ridiculously stupid. And he's betting the fact that first of all, he's betting that no one is watching this. He's betting that you'll pick up whatever he wants you to pick up from tonight on Fox News or Real America's Voice or Newsmax or News Nation, for fuck's sake, and all the other right-wing hacks. So he's hoping that you'll only listen to the right-wing hacks that digest the sound bites where it looks like this guy was winning. Okay? So you're not even going to get the information that I provide here on this show if you don't watch the whole goddamn thing. Thank you very much for your attention to this matter. Continue, Senator.
I believe, and again, part of housing is being able to have tight spreads in the mortgage market, and we're at multi-year lows in the spreads versus treasuries, which tells me the mortgage market's very healthy, and we had the lowest mortgage rate in the past 3 years in January.
Okay, so the mortgage, you're saying it's healthy. I know foreclosures are up 21%. Mortgage delinquencies are 4-year high. I know all of that. But separately, your 2025 annual report notes that FSOC created a household resilience working group to identify early warning signs of household financial stress. It's my understanding that this working group was just created in December. Has it met yet? And what is expected? What is it expected to produce?
Again, it's exactly as it seems. It will be meeting monthly. It did not meet last month. And we want to look at the household balance sheets and understand, again, the question I got on consumer sentiment. Is it sentiment or is it reality? Where are the pressure points? Because we do want to help working Americans and spot problems early.
So do you know what what are the outcomes? What is it expected to produce? Or could you share that?
Well, as it hasn't started yet, Senator, I would look forward to sharing the work product with you as we move through the year.
I would hope there is a plan, because I know usually if you set up a group, there's a mission for the working group, there's a plan, a set of expectations. So look forward to hearing from you on that. If you were to, you mentioned in your testimony parallel prosperity, and you mentioned Main Street and Wall Street. If you were to rate how Wall Street is doing on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it's doing well, and Main Street on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate them?
I'm not going to speculate, but I will tell you the Wall Street Journal, not the Main Street Journal, criticized me for being a populist on my advocacy of Main Street. And look, Main Street got killed during the Biden administration. Wall Street did not. And
I only have 10 seconds.
We're trying to level
In my
that up.
10 seconds, I just want to say two things. Number one, this is now your watch. So I know there's been a lot of bringing up the Biden administration. This is now your watch a year later. And number two, families are truly hurting in this very present moment. So I look forward to working with you and finding out about particularly housing, because it's one of the number one issues in this country across the dais. Thank you, and I yield back.
I'm not sure I would sit
Senator
for these
Moreno.
things without you.
Thank you, Mr.
How about
Secretary.
that?
And also, thank you for being so accessible. You look at your predecessor, almost invisible. You go out and you're on TV, you're on the media to make certain that the American people and you're communicating with us on a regular basis. That's a refreshing change. I just have a question on your many TV appearances. I've noticed that you said that if the Democrats win, they'll do it again. Can you clarify what that means?
Yes, we saw a spending surge during the Biden administration, a blowout spending, and again, the deficit to GDP numbers blowing out, which according to MIT
Didn't we talk about the deficit to GDP yesterday? Didn't we talk about it? And didn't I already prove that he fucking lied about deficit to GDP? Yeah, you're true. Lie. Well, no, they do lie. I mean, yes. Yeah, lying, obfuscating, and distraction, open communication. No, it's not open. I could not without the comedy relief. I know. Well, I couldn't either. Yeah, recovering from global pandemic, shithead. No, he's totally like, whatever. He's been in the job over like a year. And let me show you the mortgage rate, which has gone down. I mean, he's not wrong. It's gone from like 6.9% in March of 2025 down to, as of February, it's 6.1. So, you know what? Thank you, Jerome Powell. Thank you, Jerome Powell, for being responsive to interest rates. Thank you. I don't know, you know? Yeah, LMO, we did, yeah. What about now? Yeah, dude, Trump added a full 25% of our debt in 4 years in his first term. Yeah, he sure did. Who was that senator? That's Benny Marino. And I just want to tell you a little bit about Benny Marino. Do you know who Benny Marino is married to? Well, I'll tell you. It's Danielle D'Souza. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because it's the bitch daughter. And I say bitch with full knowledge of what this cunt says. She is a fucking white supremacist. She's worse than daddy. And her daddy? Dinesh D'Souza. That's right. Marino is the son-in-law of 2000 Mules scam artist Dinesh D'Souza. So do you trust him? I don't trust him. That's right. He married Danielle D'Souza, and they're living happily ever after in their fascist
The spending
household.
was responsible for the inflation
And if you haven't
surge.
heard
And at the same
her
time,
speak,
we saw
then you don't know that Danielle is way worse than dad. She is a cunt. Cunt. So, yeah. Yeah, but home prices have gone up 20 to 30% depending on... Listen, housing starts are down, okay? Housing starts are down. Housing prices are up. Housing supply is, I think, stagnant. I'd have to look. You know what I mean? So stop. Stop. Stop the fucking lying. Just try to make it, you know, I'm... Okay, never mind. All right, here we go.
mass unfettered
Let me go to the-
immigration, 10,
let me get to
15,
the
20
Democrat.
million illegal aliens.
'Cause Benny Marino,
See,
this
and
guy-
Whether it's Kathy Hope.
First question
Wait,
everyone wants.
About that.
Oh, shit. This guy is a fucking con artist. He also is a white supremacist. I think he was born in Colombia or Chile. I'm not really sure. Forgive me for not knowing. But he's grown up here. He's a citizen, obviously. But Benny Marino is a fucking maggot Nazi, like, lieutenant. Like, he'll do anything for the Nazi leaders. He is definitely a dear leader kind of guy. And that's all the substance that this bitch brings to the party. And that gray suit is disgusting. Oh, he's a total creeper. He's a total creeper. Yeah, tariffs on lumber. Let's stop trying to pretend. Let's not live in the land of make-believe, Mrs. Beasley. Asheville prices went down too because of all the flooding damage. Yeah, you know. Layoffs. I mean, come on now.
The core inflation is a national average?
I wouldn't. And seeing the statistics for how many people are leaving the state, I understand why.
So, in conclusion, you'd like to see states do more of the things that states like Ohio do and less like the things that states like Massachusetts do. And the last thing we want to do is take those policies and make them national. Would you agree?
I agree, sir.
Senator Alsop.
He's useless.
Well, first, I want to thank Chair Scott and Ranking Member Warren for holding today's hearing. I certainly want to say to you, Secretary Besson, thank you for being here today to discuss our economy, which is very much on the minds of Marylanders. Before I get to my questions, I want to make a quick comment on market structure legislation. Mr. Secretary, I speak for many of my colleagues when I say that we really want to get to a good bipartisan bill. We want to get it done. And I've appreciated working with your team. both during the Genius Act and market structure process, and really appreciate their attention to the issue of stablecoin paying yield and interest. I am confident, feel really good that we are going to get a bipartisan compromise that protects innovation and our community banks. And I really encourage your continued work on that issue. Now, the 2025 FSOC report confirms that 60% of small business loans and 80% of agricultural loans come from community and regional banks. And I am very proud to be partnering with Senator Hagerty. He and I have a piece of legislation to increase stability for businesses and their customers by expanding the deposit insurance available for business checking accounts. And so I join many Maryland business owners, credit unions, and small banks who believe a targeted expansion of deposit insurance could strengthen confidence in our financial system. The first question everyone wants answered about changes to deposit insurance, and it's a valid one, is who pays for it? I'm committed to working across the aisle to make sure that we get this right. And I asked your colleagues, FDIC Chairman Travis Hill, about cost and benefits in October. And Chairman Hill testified that a targeted expansion of deposit insurance would likely not increase deposit insurance premiums on small banks, and that any increased premiums on large banks would be small or immaterial. Do you agree with Chairman Hill? And more broadly, will you explain to the committee why a targeted expansion of deposit insurance can strengthen our banking system and boost business and consumer confidence?
Senator, I want to thank you for your partnership on Genius, on Clarity. I am hopeful that we can get that across the line this spring. And I've been an outspoken advocate for small banks because they are Main Street. We've seen 50% of our small banks disappear since the great financial crisis, and I believe that is one reason.
I don't think that's
Main
true. I think
Street
we went over
has
that yesterday.
lagged, and a large part of that is overregulation. But another part of this is moral hazard, that during times of financial stress, like in March 2023, there's deposit volatility, deposits flee banks because they believe that whether it's the 3 largest, the 7 largest banks, that there is no risk of loss. But if they stay with the community banks, and I've met personally with more than 200 community bankers, spoken to 1,000, but the 200 I've met with tell me they could have clients for 50, their families had them for 100 years, and the money goes to Wells Fargo and doesn't come back because exactly what you said, because there wasn't one business checking account that normally a payroll account. They say, I just can't lose this money. So we want, and once Wells Fargo gets it, they don't want to give it back, they offer. So, and as you get a decrease in deposits through the fractional banking system, then there is a reverse multiplier for lending. So the banks lower deposits, less lending available for Main Street. So I think that you and Senator Hagerty and I co-authored a piece in the Wall Street Journal. I think this is an extremely important piece of legislation. I would encourage your colleagues to pass it, and anything I can do to advocate for it, please let me know.
Thank you. Now, one other question here. Mr. Secretary, I want to thank you for your public support for community development financial institutions. And that said, I also echo Senator Warner's concerns about the congressionally appropriated funds being released. Maryland CDFIs include banks and credit unions that provide crucial funding for businesses, housing, and access to capital in underserved communities. So I want to specifically mention 2 CDFIs serving in Maryland that regularly participate in the Banking Enterprise Award Program, which allows them to provide credit and financial services in some of the most distressed neighborhoods in Maryland. The White House Office of Management and Budget has withheld the notice of funding availability for the BEA program since March of 2025, and that's 11 months. And so if the notice is not published, CDFI banks cannot apply for funding. So in March, you said CDFIs are a key component in supporting Main Street America. Do you still stand by this statement?
I am eagerly awaiting to have it released from OMB so that we can move it forward. As soon as it is released, we will follow our statutory duty and release to CDFIs. I'm also very happy to see CDFIs getting back to a core mission of prosperity and resilience for their community.
Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary.
What the fuck does that even mean? Okay, I think we're done with this. I think this is almost done anyway. So I think we've heard really good Democrats questioning reasonable stuff. But it's time to read. It's time to read. It's time to read. Yeah, we're gonna read because I got a lot of good stuff to read to you. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, we're gonna go a little long today. I'm gonna be in your ear a little bit longer. Yeah. Let's talk about Peter Thiel. Let's talk about Peter Thiel. He is the Antichrist and he's gonna die someday, but maybe not because he wants to live forever. Let's talk about Peter Thiel. Let's talk about Peter Thiel. Did Peter Thiel cause the run on the bank? Oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with all this stuff? Hold on, I'm sorry. I kind of fucked up. Like, I don't know where that is. I'm not sure where that is. Okay, fine. I can't with anything. All right. Let me read you this story. Sorry. Oops, that's what I wanted to do. Peter Thiel is the Antichrist. He said it all himself. And it turns out Peter Thiel had a lot to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Woo-hoo! That's a bad note. Yeah, Peter Thiel and Epstein were buddies, don't you know? Peter Thiel and Epstein. There. Woo. But this is an oldie but a goodie. This is from 2023. That's what he was talking about, 2023, the banks failing. Yeah, let me tell you what Shit Kitten was talking about. Okay. Here we go. Let me tell you. Yeah, put on the kettle, Lee, because sit back, relax, and just let Mama read to you. I'm going to tell you a story. Story time. Story time. Okay, Peter, this is from March 17, 2023, California Local. It's some like local paper, whatever. Peter Thiel, the multi-billionaire Silicon Valley venture capitalist and Antichrist, who in 2016 emerged as one of the most prominent supporters of then-candidate Donald Trump, wrote a now infamous essay in 2009 attempting to explain his self-described libertarian political philosophy. Is that what we're calling it now? That essay, published in the Libertarian Cato Institute think tank, is best known for Thiel's declaration that I no longer believe that freedom and democracy are compatible. That's right. And kids, where'd he get that from? Probably that priest that he was friends with. That guy, Arnie, whatever his name was. Anyway, he made another remark in the 2009 essay that now seems relevant in light of the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, which happened in 2023. In a list of grievances that included in Thiel's Cato essay titled The Education of a Libertarian with Delicate Sensibilities, was his complaint that people are forced to bail out reckless financial companies, comparing that practice to government-sponsored torture. Thiel has pled his innocence, telling the Financial Times that $50 million of his own money remained in a personal account with Silicon Valley Bank, an account that was frozen when the federal government assumed control of the suddenly defunct bank on March 10th. The 55-year-old Thiel, whose personal net worth, according to Forbes, sits at $4.2 billion, told Financial Times that he left his personal money in Silicon Valley Bank because he did not expect the bank to go under. Of course, he'll be able to recover every cent of that money from the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation thanks to the type of government intervention that Thiel, according to his own writings, finds intolerable. The FDIC president, Joe Biden, announced on March 13th will pay back all depositor funds, even though under law, FDI insurance only covers up to $250,000 per deposit. Did Thiel leave his money in the bank knowing the bailout would happen? Did he know that he'd get his full $50 million back? There's no way to know for sure because Thiel, unlike many of his fellow tech industry investors, stays off Twitter, grants only occasional interviews, can only be seen in the dark, and has been described as Silicon Valley's most secretive man. Gad about town. Another conservative venture capitalist and former PayPal exec when Thiel was CEO and the head of crypto for the current Trump regime, David fucking Sachs, who later co-authored a book with Thiel attacking the concept of diversity. That's right. I remember that. And several other tech investors took to Twitter to throw what one commentator called a weekend-long hissy fit. Sachs and others demanded that the government step in to rescue SVB depositors, issuing dire imprecations of a nationwide run on banks that would cause a 2008-style meltdown. According to financial analyst and former government regulator Daniel Davies in an interview with the American Prospect, venture capitalists armed with their own billions could have easily teamed up to keep the bank afloat in a private rescue of that sort that has happened in other countries. But they didn't do it, according to Davies, because that would make the VCs bank owners and therefore subject to stricter government regulations. Oops! Did Thiel spark the run on Silicon Valley Bank? Among his various financial ventures, Thiel is a founding partner in the Founders Fund, an $11 billion venture capital fund that has invested in a wide range of tech firms, including such familiar names as Airbnb, Spotify, Lyft, Postmates, and Affirm. Founders Fund also kept a significant amount of cash in Silicon Valley Bank. Exactly how much is not exactly clear, but it was a lot. On March 9th, the fund wanted to put even more into the bank, instructing its investors to make new deposits into SVB to prepare for a new investment project. But something was wrong. The transfers weren't going through. According to an account by the online publication Axios, the fund's top executives started making calls imploring investors to get their cash out of SVB and into bigger, safer banks because the transfers weren't going through. Founders Fund, but excuse me, this is the important part. By late Thursday morning, Founders Fund had drained all of its SVB accounts and had no exposure, as financial folks like to say, in SVB's imminent failure. Thiel's involvement in the fund's sudden abandonment of SVB remains somewhat murky by design. According to Axios, he was not involved in the calls telling investors to pull their money, and which led numerous other firms with large deposits to pull those as well. In the end, the run on SVB totaled $42 billion and left the 40-year-old bank essentially bankrupt. By the close of the day, state regulators had shut down Silicon Valley Bank and turned it over to the federal government. Founders Fund CFO Neil Ruthven told Axios that the fund was simply trying to protect its assets and acted in line with our fiduciary duties. But that failed to quiet rampant speculation without real evidence that Thiel and Founders Fund had set off the bank run on purpose for some unknown reason. What could that reason be? Thiel, along with Elon Musk, founded the groundbreaking online payment service PayPal in 1998 when it was called Confinity and sold it to eBay in 2002 for $1.5 billion. He was also the first major outside investor in Facebook. These two resume items alone would have made Thiel a Silicon Valley legend, but it is Thiel's right-wing political views and activities that have brought him to the attention of the wider American public. Yeah, okay. As a Stanford University undergrad, he co-founded the Stanford Review, a conservative student newspaper that, thanks to continuing financial support from Thiel and other conservative alumni, still exists after more than 30 years. The publication, I went to Stanford for a program for nonprofit leaders at the business school. There's a lot of Republicans at Stanford. Let's not. It's not a right-wing university or a left-wing university. Stop it. The publication regularly railed against what Thiel and his comrades saw as an out-of-control left-wing political correctness. Yeah, he doesn't like that. In 1995, Thiel and Sachs published the book, The Diversity Myth, Multiculturalism and Political Intolerance on Campus. These guys were grumpy unfuckables. That's what these two were. I don't know if I have a picture of David Sachs loaded. I don't think I do, but he looks like a penis tip. That's what he looks like. By the time he wrote his 2009 Cato essay, Thiel had become disillusioned with any form of government at all. Curtis Yarvin. See Curtis Yarvin. Wait, where is Curtis? Let me see if I can get Curtis out here for us. Hold on. I've got a couple of Curtis Yarvins. I like visual aids as we go through this. Hold on. Where is he? God damn. I gotta organize these a little bit better. I know I say that every time. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Who was I looking for? Oh yeah. Wait, who was I looking for? Who was I looking for? Oh, Curtis Yarvin. Da 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 da. I don't know where he is. I don't know where Yarvin is. He's hiding. He knows I want to make fun of him. Oh, here we go. Here's one of them. Oh, okay. I see why we have a problem here. I see why we have a problem. There we go. Here's Curtis. He's going to sit here while we talk about his buddy. All right. Just be quiet, Curtis. Nobody wants to hear your bullshit. Yeah, he's an apartheid. I just heard a door open, and I'm alone in this house. Okay, I'm going to ignore it. Yeah, South African apartheid raised, as was David Sachs, I believe. Yeah, actually, I want to read something that Jim Stewartson wrote about this that's very important along the lines of Epstein and all these little fun people. Let me just see if I can. He's donated startup cash to the group called the Seasteading Institute, founded by the grandson of conservative economist Milton Friedman. The institute is dedicated to building offshore cities, network states, network states, network states. Yeah, okay. Well, are we going to talk about the fucking... I understand you guys have an opinion about his... okay, the Teal did not... Okay, wait. Could Teal's company have initiated the run on SVB as a way of undermining Biden and supporting Trump's 2024 bid to regain the White House? The question seems far-fetched. No, it actually doesn't. Come on now. Let's be honest. I know this was written in 2023, but even then we knew who Peter Thiel was. And it was talked about quite a bit that the Founders Fund telling people to pull their money out of Silicon Valley Bank was what caused the bank to fail. Okay? So yes, Peter Thiel created the run on the bank. Please. And then he got his money back. I mean, really. They're all a bunch of criminals, yeah. All right, hold on. I'm coming on. Oh, you're eating lunch. I'm so sorry, Neil. I told her locking the doors. Mom asked me if she should have some sort of weapon for intruders. I told her locking the doors would be a good start. Oh, Mama. Mama. Okay, so yeah. Here we go. You know, and I just want to say, it really appears that the release of the Epstein documents and just the wealth of additional context has really opened up some conversations about Q, about just the mindfuck, you know, like where the mindfuck was, who was involved in the mindfuck of this country to get us to a point where billionaires can act with impunity, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, let's see. I'm going to move that way, and I'm going to move Curtis Yarvin, you're gonna sit over there. You're covering Putin. Okay, so this is something Jim wrote yesterday, and I wanted to start with this. I have a bunch of stuff though, so please, you're gonna get a lot of different opinions on this. I'd get a dog before I'd have a gun. Yeah, I'd get a mean dog. That's a good idea. Actually, I want a mean dog. I want a real mean dog. Yeah, I want a real mean dog. I want a real mean dog that'll bite the MAGA. No, I don't want to bite MAGA unless you attack me, and then I'll have him bite you. But otherwise, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Okay, the big reveal. It was Epstein's psyop all along. Trump's paranoia about the files is not about his sexual deviance. It's because they prove he's a loser. Ooh, interesting. On June 26, 2016, during the thick of the U.S. presidential campaign, infamous pedophile Jeffrey Epstein triumphantly emailed Broligarch Peter Thiel about Brexit, the shocking result that separated the UK from the EU, a result ensured by Cambridge Analytica, which went on to help Trump. Here's a clip of the text. Epstein, Brexit, just the beginning. Teal, of what? Epstein, return to tribalism, counter to globalization, amazing new alliances. You and I both agreed zero interest rates were too high. And as I said in your office, finding things on their way to collapse was much easier than finding the next bargain. And what if you drove that collapse? Fire sale. I think I've been saying that. I think everyone in this room has been saying that. So this is a copy of the email. Epstein was articulating the core deviance, nihilism, and arrogance of the techno-fascist movement, embodied in people like Teal, Musk, and J.D. Vance. Little Damien. Where is he? There he is. Little Damien. Oops, where? Damien? Oh, I see. You're not. Oh. Oops. There you go. Oh, I moved me. I didn't want to move me. All right, so oops, now I got to move Damien. Oh, man, God. If I had a producer, this would all be different and everybody would be so, like, happy. Anyway, okay. Teal, Musk, and J.D. Vance, and sold it to the masses through false prophets like Curtis Yarvin. Hey, baby. It is a distillation of the immorality at the bottom of the Dark Enlightenment. Destroy it all and profit by picking through the wreckage. This is the Yarvin Nazi origin story, which you can link to. I'll link all these in the description of the video so that you can go back and check things out or share them and things like that. Actually, highly recommend going to the descriptions of the videos that we do, the live streams, because I try to put all the links in. They're not necessarily in order of the show, so I apologize. I'm not that fancy yet, but they're at least there so that if you're like, oh, I want to show my mom this article, you can go pick up the link from the description of the video. If you don't get it from here. Okay. Oh, I'm sweating. It's really hot. It's getting hot in here. I think this is going to be a bad idea. Let me know if the fan bothers us. Okay. But Epstein was no mere observer. He was the chief orchestrator of the seditious conspiracy to destroy Hillary Clinton and get his old friend and rape partner, Donald Trump, elected to the presidency. The big reveal of the Epstein files is not that Trump is a sadistic rapist. We knew that already. And the truth is that Trump doesn't mind people knowing it. Trump believes his sadism and his dominance over females makes him look strong. Okay, this cat. No, I love you. You're going to turn my shit off, and I'm going to get real mad. He loves to jump on the power of all of this computer and turn it off in the middle of a stream. It's one of his special tricks. Okay, The big reveal is actually that Donald Trump couldn't win the 2016 election without cheating. It was engineered by Jeffrey Epstein, Peter Thiel, and Russian intelligence. On October 7th, 2016, an emergency lunch meeting was set in New York City by Jeffrey Epstein with Palantir co-founder Peter Thiel and Russian ambassador to the UN, Vitaly Shurkin, who unfortunately met a certain demise. Perhaps not fall through window, perhaps drink tea. I don't remember. Friday, October 17th, 2016, New York. Reminder, blank to start working on the island. 11:15 a.m. Consultation with Dr. Krumholtz. I don't know what that is. 12:30 lunch with Peter Thiel and Vitaly Shurkin. And then all this. Oh, and then go to see the Beyonce concert. Okay, great. Fabulous. Several hours later that day, the infamous Access Hall. Several hours later that day. Keep the date in your mind. October 7th, 2016. Vladimir Putin's birthday, by the way. October 7th is Vladimir Putin's birthday. That's right. Why do you think things happen on October 7th? I'm just saying. Because these guys are funny. They're trying to be funny. I was a Russian major, so don't fucking come for me on my Russian accent. I'm also a potential voice actor if I want to be. And I will never stop doing the Russian accent. Several hours later that day, the infamous Access Hollywood video came out, a shocking bit of backstage banter that, although it barely hinted at Dump's true misogyny and narcissism, nevertheless threatened Dump's flailing campaign. We're not going to watch it. But this blockbuster video got little breathing room because it was followed immediately by the release of Clinton aide John Podesta's Russian-hacked emails on WikiLeaks. Just 30 to 60 minutes later, after the video of Trump on the bus was released to the public. Almost like they were waiting for it. Podesta's emails, despite being pretty boring and by large, were systematically re-engineered by alt-right online trolls to mean that Hillary Clinton was involved in child sex trafficking by alleging that pizza was code for example. Many of those trolls were paid by Peter Thiel's PAC MAGA 3X, which was organized with the specific purpose of running covert influence operations for Dump. And here is Jim's full story on MAGA 3X. Motherfucking receipts. Mikey Flynn and Eric, Prince of Darkness, both worked to amplify these false, deliberately traumatic narratives about Podesta and a cabal of satanic pedophiles run by Hillary. This was done in large part through Breitbart, which was run by Epstein's close friend, little Stevie Bannon. That's right. And funded by Teal bankroll, Rebecca Mercer. Here's the spirit, because is this Jack Pussy Bitches thing? I don't even know. Anyway, this is, what's this? Oh, I can't read it. Okay, this is a Flynn. So this is Mike Flynn retweeting a Pizzagate. You know, General Flynn, General Failure. That's him. Never Hillary. That's right. Here we go. It's Huma. It's Wiener. It's all of it, right? How convenient. And then this, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can read it. I don't know if I can. Oops. It makes it smaller. Oh, this is better. If I make it smaller, it makes it larger. Oh, my God. Okay, so this is a text exchange between Steve Bannon and I believe, we'll see. So the one must be Epstein, right? Is that Epstein? I'm not sure. Okay, so anyway, one person says, and I think it's Epstein, of course, if you think I can be helpful in strategizing, you are welcome to come to Palm Beach. My plane will fly you home for the holidays if you like. You are always helpful, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, this is the one between Epstein and Steve Bannon. Come get some rest. Weather is amazing. Flynn hit brutal. No surprise, there's more behind the curtain. Long delay till March gives you a sense of timing. Question marks? Oh, shit. I didn't want to do that. Where to go? 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 Wait, what happened here? Oh, here I am. I'm so sorry. I did the wrong screen. Yeehaw! Okay, there we go. So, there we go. That's that. Additional firepower for these psychological operations was provided by Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin's Internet Research Agency, the IRA, later charged by Robert Mueller with election interference. But of course, we can't have nice things because people just don't want to fucking pay attention. Up to 600 Russians were dedicated to delivering online propaganda in the 2016 election on Twitter and Facebook. All of it was devoted to smearing Hillary Clinton and electing Donald Trump. The systematic propaganda attack on Hillary, which mirrored Epstein and Trump's own documented child rape. Projection? I think so. It was later branded as Pizzagate and extended by QAnon. It was all large-scale projection designed to swing a presidential election through psychological warfare. Peter Thiel was the only major donor who supported Dump in the wake of Dump's comments about grabbing women by the genitals on video by publicly donating $1.25 million in the immediate aftermath, despite numerous Trump defections. And this was a story, CNBC on October 31st, rather. No matter how crazy this election seems, it is less crazy than the condition of our country, said Peter Thiel, explaining his support for Donald Trump. PayPal co-founder to donate $1.25 million. Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, is the only prominent supporter of Donald Trump in the tech industry, and according to a source close to him, he will be donating $1.25 million under condition of anonymity. A source said Saturday that Thiel felt that Trump was the best choice for the country and America needed to be fixed. That's why you don't hear Peter Thiel complaining about any of this, because this is what he wanted to happen. Yeah. It was a cabal, and that's it. Oh, here we go. There's crazy Alex Karp, who's a fucking Nazi. Palantir apologizes for WikiLeaks attack proposal, cuts ties with H.B. Gary. This is from February 11th at 2011. So this just goes back into the Palantir lore. Russian ambassador Vitaly Churkin, death unclear. I don't know. I'm not sure how he died. I think he fell out of window. I think that Lavrov and him went water skiing, and all of a sudden, Churkin did not come back. He did not come back. Niet Churkin. Niet Churkin. Yeah, that's right. The Russian ambassador, after meeting with Jeffrey Epstein and Steve Bannon and Peter Thiel, about a month later, died. November 24th, 2016. I am not kidding. I am not kidding. Oh, this is a file photo. It was after that. But when did he die? Let's see. February 21st, 2017. Okay, so. You cannot make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. No, you can't. Palantir had previously been caught planning to run a covert influence operation on WikiLeaks and Glenn Greenwald for Bank of America. What? Weird. A month after Trump's inauguration, Vitaly Churkin suddenly died. Cause of death unclear. While no windows were involved, it is widely understood this was not a natural death. It turns out we were all looking for Russian collusion in the wrong place the whole time. The PayPal mafia and Russian intelligence were just part of Epstein's plan, not the other way around. While I have only looked through a tiny fraction of the 50% of the Epstein files that the Trump regime has released, the tight connection between Epstein, the Russian government, and Peter Thiel is undeniable. The dirty triangle goes back many years. Thiel was introduced to Epstein by John Brockman sometime in 2009, and the relationship between Thiel and Epstein continued all the way up until Epstein's arrest in 2019. Thiel is mentioned 2,696 times in the files. This is the search, yeah. Let's see, what is this? From Jeffrey Epstein to John Brockman on 2009. I'm on the case, Thiel. Let's talk tomorrow. I'm at the farm. But why Thiel, another libertarian type, and not Elon Musk, a truly brilliant physicist who you would benefit from knowing? Quote, Peter Thiel professes that he is unable to engage in what he terms unacceptable compromise politics. Considers democracy a failed experiment, drawing into doubt the wisdom of granting women and the poor voting rights. This position received hard criticism. But apparently that's just fine. That's fine. Whatever. Yeah, but from Jeffrey to Peter Thiel. 2018. December. Visit me, Caribbean. Peter Thiel said, can't. Wait. Oh my God. So on Tuesday, he said to Peter Thiel, are you enjoying LA? I liked your Trump exaggerations, not lies. And Peter says, can't complain thus far. I'm in my party girl era. Oh, it is indisputable from the evidence that Putin was Epstein's client, whatever the actual financial arrangement. Epstein saw it as his job to help the Russian Federation, especially at the expense of the United States. Epstein played this role as gleefully as he played the role of sexual sadist. He frequently traveled to Moscow and St. Petersburg and schemed endlessly about ways to improve the Russian economy and strategize against the West. On September 7th, 2012, Epstein wrote, "Yes, who else? I'm meeting with Sinofsky. I think he wants to do different things. Chinese may be difficult because of U.S. security clearance." And this is from Ian Osborne, who is a UK-based, financial blah, blah, who also was involved with Peter Thiel. Yeah. Ian says, "Are you back now in NY? I'm in London, but staying up to watch the Obama speech. Hossein's really keen to close this out by Monday. It would help me a lot if we can finish this once and for all. I'm in Munich on Saturday, then St. Petersburg and Moscow with ICA Sunday, Tuesday. We've got some terrific meetings lined up. London, Wednesday, Thursday, including Mubadala board meeting Wednesday, and then heading to SF next Friday the 14th. You will arrive on the 16th? Shall we do Peter Thiel for drinks then?" And this is from Jaglan Thorbin. I don't know who that is. "I know you are going to meet Putin on the 20th. This is from 2013. He is desperate to engage Western investment in his country. He has tried to convince many of my friends to invest. I have his solution. He needs to securitize Russian investment. That means that the government takes the first loss. It is the only way to encourage serious people to invest. I recognize that there are human rights issues that are at the forefront of your trip. Okay. However, if it is helpful to you, I would be happy to meet with him sometime in June and explain the solution to his top priority. I think this would be good for your goals. Exchange something he really wants for something you want." What did you want? I guess he's working on investments too and money laundering. Putin will redo his staff in the summer, bringing only very trusted people closer. More info on phone or face-to-face. Wow, that was 2013 to Ehud Barak. The triangle of Epstein, Thiel, and the Russians goes back to at least 2014. The meeting below, for example, with Epstein's two most active Russian handlers, both of whom were in regular contact with Putin. Epstein also introduced Thiel to a third Russian contact 2 weeks after Dump came down the escalator. Leslie Groff, I really want to hear from her. She's like Jeffrey Epstein's secretary. So from her to Jeffrey Epstein, great. 12 will be lunch with Thiel. 8 p.m. will be dinner with Tertia. I don't really know who that is. Tertia Jagland? I'm not sure. Okay, Peter Thiel is one of the smartest out there. That's from Jeffrey Epstein to Caprese. Oh, that's Sergei Belikov. Sergei Belikov is what that name is. Sergei wrote something. My communication with, what's WIT? With respect to headquarters is via Moscow office. I don't even know what that means. All right. And there is a timely meeting in summer 2015. Epstein, Musk, Thiel, and Zuckerberg. Surely nothing nefarious was discussed. Let's see. What does he say? Where are you? I might be in LA Monday, Burbank, to look at the interior of another BBJ. What's that? Tonight, dinner with Musk, Thiel, Zuckerberg. 2015. There are numerous meetings between Thiel, Epstein, and Russian proxies leading up to the 2016 elections, including meetings at Thiel Capital, run by white nationalist Jeff Gissé. I'm not sure how to say his name. Who also ran Thiel's PAC MAGA 3X. Epstein met with Thiel alone, face-to-face several times, and they had frequent phone calls throughout the year. Signal app, Jeffrey to Peter. Signal, give me a call at this number. Tom Barrack really liked you. That's what Jeffrey says. August 30th, 2016. Tom Barrack really liked you. He told me the conversation in the green room. Any thoughts on the race? Let's see. Lots. And you should be closer so that your advice is considered. Jeff Epstein is giving Peter Thiel directions. Epstein and Guccifer 2. One astonishing email exchange came on June 15th, 2016, the day Russian cutout Guccifer 2 first dropped hacked emails from the Democratic National Committee. Within hours, Vincenzo Iozzo, Epstein's private black hat hacker, sent the link to Epstein, who shrugged, quote, fun, but the only important ones would be Hillary's secret. Yozo replied that Epstein, quote, would need to wait for WikiLeaks for those. "40 days later, WikiLeaks published a huge dump of DNC hacked material." From Vincenzo Iozzo on June 15, 2016 to Jeffrey Epstein, "Think you need to wait for WikiLeaks for those." Wow. Okay. What's this? "The foremost damaging emails from the DNC WikiLeaks dump." July 15th, 2016. Yeah. While Epstein was careful about not discussing anything potentially illegal over email, it is impossible to look at the sequence of events and the players that Epstein is communicating with and when, and not come to the conclusion that he was at the minimum a major part of the operation that ultimately destroyed Hillary Clinton's candidacy. Epstein was no sideshow. He was central. It's bad enough to look back at the last decade of American chaos and realize that it's all the result of Jeffrey Epstein's project, but now the team that Epstein assembled for the 2016 election are some of the richest and most powerful people in America. While the President of the United States was chosen by Jeffrey Epstein, the Vice President was chosen by Peter Thiel. J.D. Vance is eagerly awaiting for his chance to play his role in the downfall of the American experiment. But for what? What is it that these people want, since they have more money than most entire nations? Let me give you an example. Here is a journal of a young Epstein victim who was trapped in Epstein's New Mexico Zorro Ranch. Warning, it is one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever read. It tells how she was enslaved, impregnated, and had her babies taken away. Over and over and over. Zorro Ranch, which Epstein described as a pretty unusual and private place, was familiar to Peter Thiel, who was happy to go, even though the livestock on this ranch was people. I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to read. This is from the diary, and I believe this is already published, that this is a farmer. This is the farmer sister who, I don't know if her first name was Maria or if she was the other sister, so forgive me. But this is from her journal, which there are extensive pages from in the Epstein files, and I do not recommend that you seek them out unless, you feel like you have to. In the hall, Ghislaine said she was beautiful. She was, not is. She was a beautiful girl. I heard her. Where is she? Why did she stop whimpering? She was born. I heard the tiny cries. I can't do this anymore. From Jeffrey Epstein to blank. Mark, sorry it was so short at Reed's dinner. One more on connectivity. Jensen's article, and hence data on the fishermen in appears to have formed the basis for your conclusion re profit. Wait, what is this? Oh, Thiel might come to the ranch this weekend. Okay, so that's the email describing Peter Thiel coming to the ranch. Forgive me. What Epstein was doing at his ranch, on his island, and all around him was creating alternate morality, a separate world unconcerned about laws or common decency. Where does that sound familiar? What is that? Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like what we're experiencing right now? He wanted to be able to quench his thirst for rape without fear of consequences. He wanted to be a god above others and to spread his DNA in bulk. That is exactly the goal of Peter Thiel's seasteading and network state projects as well, to be able to escape from the bounds of modern society, to return to a world where might makes right, and the only rule of law is the rule of superior violence. That is the kind of freedom a world of surveillance, state violence, and regime media will get them. That is a world where few make the rules and the rest of us serve them. They want to turn America into Zorro Ranch. It's up to us to never let that happen. That is a very good article. Let me just, amorality is not alternate morality. That's certainly true. That's certainly true. Then I was looking like, Epstein had a lot of, this whole Epstein-Steve Bannon relationship is very curious. Hey, Robert, how you doing? This Epstein-Steve Bannon relationship is really curious. And Steve Bannon is, he has just been fucking with democracies all over the world. He's quite prolific in that regard. It's no secret. And so I thought, oh, I wonder if Epstein had anything to do with like Reform UK or any of those right-wing movements growing in Britain. Well, guess what? Guess what? He sure did. This is 2nd of February, 2026. Epstein and Steve Bannon discussed Tommy Robinson in newly released files. Messages show convicted pedophile and former Trump strategist discussing the far-right British activist. Whoa. Newly released files show convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein and Stephen Bannon, former strategist for U.S. President Donald Trump, discussing far-right British activist Tommy Robinson. On July 3rd, 2019, Epstein shared an article with Bannon, known to be a Robinson ally, reporting that the activist had been found guilty of a contempt of court for live streaming defendants accused of sexually abusing young girls in a 2018 trial. Bannon replied, calling Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, the backbone of England. Epstein replied, that's why the pound's so low. Bannon said, cheap at any price. It's unclear from the messages whether the two were praising Robinson or criticizing Britain or mocking the far-right activist. Bannon had reported previously described Robinson as the backbone of the country. Well, let me give you an update to this story, because frankly, Elmo has already been over in England funding Tommy Robinson and his efforts. That was published, last summer, I think? So Elon is fully on board. Tommy Robinson is a fantastic tool for this cabal. Tommy Robinson's going to be one of their. Elmo is bankrolling Tommy Robinson. So I mean, sorry UK, but you have a MAGA problem, and a pedophile problem. LBC Radio's political editor Theo Usherwood claimed on July 15th, the previous year, 2018, that Bannon said to him off air after a heated interview, "You fucking liberal elite. Tommy Robinson is the backbone of this country." Oh, wow. Yeah, Steve Bannon is a cuck. Can I just say that? I listened to the interview that Steve Bannon did with Jeffrey Epstein, which was part of the release of the Epstein files, and it's just literally Steve Bannon cucking Jeffrey Epstein for an hour and a half. Or the AfD. Yeah, same thing with the German AfD Nazi party. So I'm good. I'm having fun. Let's see. Here it goes. In August 2018, when Robinson was released from prison after being held on contempt charges, Epstein had messaged Bannon saying, "Tommy Robinson, good work." Bannon replied saying, "Thanks." Bannon publicly defended Robinson when he was arrested, saying he's got to be released from prison. Robinson, a former tanning salon owner, no shame in that game, except for you're giving people cancer. Hello. Let's see. Over the past 2 decades, built a violent street movement focused on intimidating British Muslim communities and stoking fear of an Islamic takeover of the UK. And he is stronger than ever, babes. He is out there making Nazi shit happen. Oh, every day. I see it. He has received prison sentences and community orders since 2003 for, among other things, football brawling, traveling on another man's passport to the U.S., mortgage fraud, possession of drugs, threatening behavior, and a breach of a court order. But that was just Tuesday. In 2021, he lost a libel lawsuit over his slurs against a Syrian schoolboy who was filmed being attacked at school. Yep, I remember that. In a video posted on Facebook, Robinson had claimed the boy violently attacks young English girls in his school, comments for which he was sued. Yeah, Tommy Robinson is single-handedly trying to put the lives of brown people in England in danger. He is a white supremacist fucking Nazi bitch. And he's a tool of pedophiles. Oops. Yeah, they're responsible. Well, Nigel Farage and stuff. But Nigel is losing, okay? Tommy is gaining. Nigel is losing. Because Elmo isn't funding Nigel, per se. I mean, I don't know. He might be funding the Reform UK party. I have no idea. But this man is the golden child of the fascists right now. Okay. He's not afraid to make a strong impression. All right, so that's what I know about him. Let me see what else I've got. Oh, Jenny Cone. We love our Jenny Cone, my beautiful Jenny. I love you. Here we go. Jenny with the facts. Jenny with the receipts. Jenny from the block coming with receipts. Coming in hot. Jenny Cone, February 4th, 2026. Quote, an FBI report dated November 27, 2017, based on a confidential human source, explicitly states that Epstein, quote, was President Vladimir Putin's wealth manager and provided similar services to President of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe. That's right. That's right. Epstein labeled, this is a Kiev Post, Epstein labeled the wealth manager for Putin in FBI documents. Records suggest me. There it is. There it is. You want the fucking receipt? Jenny's got it. Jenny's got it. Jenny's got it. Yeah. Tina, my darling. Polish connections emerge in newly released Jeffrey Epstein documents, which I wanted to talk about Poland. We might have to talk about Poland tomorrow morning because I've spent so much time with you today. I feel bad that I've taken all your morning. But we might talk about the Poland connection because I also, let's see, what's this? Oh, this is the temporary protected status. Okay. I'm going to do that tomorrow too because I have stories about prison abolition. I want to talk about prison abolition. I want to talk about the TPS for Haitian immigrants and this opinion, which actually, one of 83. Yeah, let's take our time with this one tomorrow. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, there's an article from yesterday. Yeah. From SCOTUS blog, there was a surge in executions in 2025. Here's how the Supreme Court responded. I'm curious to read that article to you tomorrow along the lines of prison abolition. This is also, wait, I think this is something else. You know what? I don't think this is real. That's something I just have to look at my saved post. This one, I also wanted to read this to you, and we'll take this up tomorrow. Legal fallout in Minnesota has just begun. Now turning more to ICE stories. Steve Bannon says Marjorie Greene says she has received a commitment from Kevin McCarthy to investigate Nancy Pelosi and the murder of Ashley Babbitt. Sorry. Oh, and I said, Steve Bannon seems very scared. Steve Bannon is a little bit of a panic patty right now. What's this? Confidential witness. What did I have this for? I don't know. I probably just picked this up yesterday. Now I can't remember who shared it. Oh, Colorado. This must be, this is fucking Tina Peters. So we got a Tina Peters thing. This is the raid on the elections office. So I did also pull a couple of things on elections. This Homeland Security targeting Americans. I want to read that. More about the ICE stuff. And, the Trump administration has secretly rewritten nuclear safety rules, but really, who cares? Have you seen the new Canada Shore? Louder Milk is all over the files. I hadn't even looked for him. I'm going to tell you, those files are very difficult to get through. And I'm not saying anyone should get through them. I'm just curious because there are names that I'm very curious to see if they appear and how they appear. Right? I want to know how they appear. I want to know why, under what context. A lot of people are mentioned in like news articles and press and FBI reports that were sent to Jeffrey Epstein and not necessarily interacting with Jeffrey Epstein. So you do have to kind of like use caution when assuming people were engaged in nefarious activities. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you were involved with this group, you should probably explain to people why. Oh, Loudermilk was helping him landscape the island? Oh, my God. See, sorting records seems like an ideal AI use. Exactly. So here's something. This is where we could use some AI right now. With the proper equipment. Yeah, no, I totally understand that. I agree. And you know, just in terms of who's doing it and all that good stuff. Wow. God, I didn't even get through half of what I wanted to with you today. I have a whole other set of tabs. What do I got? I got the Polish connections. Oh, these are all the things I pulled from today. All right. What do I have? Yeah, we got a lot. We got a lot, baby. We got a lot. And we didn't even have to watch Trump. Hello. Hello. I didn't make you watch Trump, did I? You're welcome. Anyway, thank you so much for coming to the show. I really appreciate you spending your morning with me. I'm so lucky to have anybody have their eyes on this, and I really am grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you all for contributing to. I fucking love it. Oh my God. I'm so lucky. Not the searching so much as the talking about. Yeah, I think, here's what I feel about Epstein files. I think there is a natural inclination to want to like summarize and find, and it's just so difficult to elicit all the information. That's why I appreciate pieces like Jim's, where he's trying to draw different things together that share. Because if you do go through the documents, many times it's a document that is one email. It's the next document, which is the response to that email. It's the next document, which is a response to that email. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of duplicative files in the files that I've seen so far anyway, which is not even close to a lot. I just go in and go, hey, I wonder if Howard Nutlicker is lying about his connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Oh my God, he is. Oh my God. And Howard Nutlicker is a fucking... I'll keep all my thoughts to myself. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I feel like, but at the same time, sometimes people figure things out in an iterative fashion, and it's fine. Yeah, exactly. Furthermore, engaging in the granular search for lurid details strikes me as morbidly voyeuristic. Oh, yeah. Of course it's okay. I mean, this is a human process, okay? The human process of dealing with mass amounts of information is trying to parse it out. And that's fine. And people will also make mistakes. And that's fine too, because we're going to figure this out. But I desperately need people to synthesize. You know, I need people to start to synthesize the wealth of information that's coming down and point us in the direction of things that matter. Because there's a lot in those files that don't matter. News articles being shared. I mean, they're mildly interesting because there's a lot about Flynn and his case. Apparently, Jeffrey was monitoring Flynn's, career. So there is some interesting information even in the mundane. But of course, it doesn't give you the complete picture of what's happening. And as more information is synthesized, as we get more releases, well, we're not going to get any more releases, but, given the information that we have, they didn't do a good job of redacting, which is disgusting because of the victims suffering now because of the DOJ's inept handling of this. So with all that time, they still didn't do the job of actually redacting information and protecting victims. And the victims are also, or the survivors are also upset about the fact that the men are not mentioned, that there is a lot of redaction of the perpetrators, right? So, yeah. I mean, and I'm looking for names. I want to know who and what level. I'm surprised by Peter Thiel. I knew that Peter Thiel knew Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't know they were, relatively close in terms of working on shit and talking. I had no idea that Steve Bannon was up Epstein's ass so far. So Tina Peters chokehold. Wait, do I have that? No, I don't. All right, I guess I already played it. Yeah, used to be. Sharing thoughts probably okay. It used to be okay. Sometimes you get yelled at and called blue anon, which I think is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. and clearly coming from people who are not interested in preserving democracy so they can go fuck themselves. Yeah. Yeah, the Bannon Epstein connection is way deeper than I thought. And there, you know, what I would love to see is accountability. What I would love to see is Steve Bannon being accountable for whatever it is that he participated in. You know, there's not as much information about that, but there's a lot of information about what Leon Black participated in and his rapes and his abuse of girls and violence. Maybe sharing thoughts with the entire world. I don't know. I guess I do. And well, the entire world, this world, my little world. My little world inside my little head. Anyway. But coordinating information and approaches. Oh my gosh. Oomph. I would so love that. See, this is the thing. I would love a very thoughtful, I said it from the beginning. Nobody is perfect, but I would love and I would appreciate seeing some synthesis of the materials in a thoughtful and unemotional way, right? Where you can, and that's why I do appreciate what Jim did, because he actually tied the timelines together. And that to me is very important. So anyway, all to say, we deserve to know who the baddies are, and frankly, the next step is accountability. I guess it is too. You're right. This is literally not even a week that this information has been available. You're absolutely right. Plus, there's an additional at least 3 million documents that we're never going to see, because Turd Blanche already told us we're never going to see it. Teresa's like, "Thank you, Lolo. Get off." Sorry. I know you're not saying that. You're just saying thank you and I love y'all. But anyway, I'm going to let you go. Then figure out who the parties are. Yeah. No, totally. And the chronology. Yeah. I think there's a lot to be put together. But people should start asking questions of people like Steve Bannon, Leon Black, Peter Attia or whatever that longevity guy's name is. You know, people should start asking questions. That's what I think. But what do I know? I'm just a girl on the internet. I love you. Thank you again for coming. Thank you for all your amazing conversation. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. And I will see you tomorrow morning at the same time. I will see you at the same time tomorrow morning with lots of good stuff. Lots of fun. All right. I'll see you later. Have a great day.